Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dimlits, where we are not the brightest bulbs in the box. This is a podcast where we talk about Pixar movies because why not? And today is a very special day, as you can see here on YouTube with a different camera angle, because we are doing our finale, where we rank all 26 so far Pixar movies. Actually, 27. By the time this gets to the end, we'll have Elemental on here. I forgot.
And you forgot to list one on your list.
Yeah, I wrote it in.
Did you write it in on all three?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
looking at mine.
First time?
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. All this is pretty crisp. I wonder if it still smells like the printer.
Well, probably. If you're watching on YouTube again, you'll notice just me and Jake are in this shot because we have put Dickey over there.
Yeah! Woohoo! I am writing down all 26 on the
27.
27, that's
Dickey's
right.
being Vanna White today.
Yes, because if you watched our DreamWorks series and/or finale, I had the job of writing on
40.
and that was the worst thing I've ever done.
For the end of the next series, I will not be taking my turn.
I would do it again. This is fun. I like being up here.
You haven't even done anything yet.
I know, but I just like being up here and like, woo, look at me writing.
You have better handwriting than me, right?
I think so.
Good.
He just said he can't write with chalk.
No, chalk is tricky, but usually everything else. So we'll see how this goes.
Chalk is tricky.
Chalk is tricky.
Chalk
Also,
is tricky.
Chalk is tricky.
Chalk is tricky.
Chalky.
Oh, yeah, say that 3 times fast.
Tricky.
Chalk is tricky.
Tricky.
Chalk is tricky.
Wow.
Chalk is tricky.
We are annoying.
How do you get tricky? Tricky.
Chalk
I'm trying to make
is
the
Shrek.
CH sound and the R, and it just ends up sounding like a T.
What are those called? Something rhymes? Composite rhymes?
Yeah.
No, what is it? Something
don't know.
rhymes.
That sounds familiar.
There's
Everyone's
everyone's.
a vocab word.
Yeah. But today, we have watched over the last couple months all the Pixar movies.
Yeah, buddy.
One a week with an asterisk. There are a couple times we had to take an extra week off for various reasons. So
Or
for
some of us watched more than one a week.
Listen.
Or didn't watch it.
I did watch one a week.
Did you watch all of them?
I missed one single one, and you never let me
You can't
forget
follow
it.
instructions
One
once.
single one.
One time. Can
Like
you one time
the
do it right?
fourth week.
We said one a week in order, all of them, and you couldn't do that.
The fourth week, I missed one, but all of
That's
the rest,
the fifth week.
I can't count.
I know.
Are we sure we want to put him on the writing?
Just because I can't count doesn't mean I don't know how to write.
I'd like 2 minutes for rebuttal.
Take it with your sidebar. So if here's how this is going to work. If you haven't seen the DreamWorks one, we go one by one chronologically. We bring up the movie, we'll discuss it, and we'll see where it ranks with the other movies. So, like, example would be for, like, DreamWorks, we started with Ants. And that went automatically to first because there's nothing else to compare it to yet. Then when we did Prince of Egypt, that was instantly over Ants because it's Ants. And from there, we would put them above or below all of them until all of them were on there. It's a lot of writing and erasing.
It's a lot of work, but I'm ready for it. I am ready to make it look beautiful.
So that's how this is going to work, and we're probably going to argue about some of these.
Some?
I feel like this will be easier than DreamWorks.
That is
Well,
fair.
there's almost DreamWorks is almost double what Pixar is too.
I also feel like there's
more group
bigger gaps in quality for DreamWorks.
Yeah, and there's more groupthink here. Like we all just kind of think the same things about things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see. I as long as Toy Story 2 is going to be number 1.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Are you ready for our 12-hour episode?
It's going to be
So,
the end. But should I just start with number 1?
well, without further ado,
Without-
this is the Dimlits grand finale.
Woo! All 26. Here we
Asterix, because it will continue as Pixar releases more films, as will DreamWorks.
Yeah.
go. A lot of movies. So we're going to do it. All right, so number 1. The very first movie we have is Toy Story, 1995.
Yep. The highest grossing movie of 1995.
Oh, I can write down on this pretty well. Look at me.
See, right now, I feel like the lower on the board, the harder it gets, unless you're going to bend down every single time.
I mean,
you're used to bending over.
I really am, honestly.
Why did I...
It's with the calisthenics, he really goes, woo! It helps bend down.
No,
But regardless, I mean, obviously Toy Story.
No, you mean irregardless.
I say it wrong.
Dickey phonics.
So I don't say things perfectly, well, the same way.
Or right.
Mostly right. 90. 90.
Say Las
Irregardless,
Vegas.
though.
Say Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
How
Say
is that not
salsa.
right?
Salsa. That's how you say
At
it.
least that one I've heard people say. The other one's just wrong. The other one is just spitting on a language.
That's how I pronounce things. It's the same thing. That doesn't matter. All right?
I can think of a few words to mispronounce.
Is there anything that we need to? Should we just start to fight with number 2?
I'm just gonna say we could briefly mention number 1. Just
okay.
watching it again. I know it was months ago at this point, but
Oh yeah, it was a while ago.
what a good movie!
It ages so well.
I don't even really like it, and I still think it's a good movie.
It's so ingrained into the cultural zeitgeist that every part of that movie has been like picked apart and analyzed and just shoved in our faces, especially the Randy Newman song. Mm-hmm. Well, the main song. That it's one of those things when you watch it, you're reminded of why it's so popular and highly regarded. It's just so good.
It is literally I could literally watch this movie all the time. And the best part about this, it came out the same year I was born. So it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah.
If it came out in 1995, it's a good movie. Jake, don't fight me on that. I see you questioning what I'm...
I would tend to think the opposite, but this would be the exception that proves the rule, I suppose.
It's just another...
Don't make me look up movies that came out in 1995. I will.
I'm sure not a single one
I know
is
some
bad.
movies that came out in 1995. There's Braveheart.
Great movie.
And Apollo 13.
Great. See?
And Babe.
Great movie. I don't see the issue there.
That'll do, pig. Yeah, but it's a decent year.
It was a good year. And like I said, Toy Story's... I could literally... Especially... And obviously, it's enough that this same exact line Buzz Lightyear says got brought back in Lightyear. So it's like, are you mocking me? Like, there's like... It's that... Like, obviously, it's Spark.
I mean, when they made Lightyear, yeah, they were mocking.
Yeah, they were mocking that whole thing.
So that's the thing, though. Toy Story comes out the same year that Lightyear comes out in their universe, basically, or it takes place when Lightyear comes out. That's kind of
true.
It's kind of weird to think about. It's
Whoa.
like, wow, movies look better than our existence does. Lightyear is at the end of this. We don't need to.
I know, but yeah, it's just weird to think about that now with Toy Story.
It's a good start for. Well, to me, it's a great start for them to make all that money and to get the non-competitive special Oscar thing. But just when you really look at it, it's like, wow, that's a really good start.
Yeah, especially if they get all that like fresh Apple money and just knocked out.
They did a good job.
Hey, nicely done. All right, anything else about Toy Story before we start?
I can say as I turn the page, it's going to stay at number 1 for at least one more movie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that leads me to number 2, which is A Bug's Life that came out in 1998.
The same year as Ants, because DreamWorks was petty, and you're just writing it in. You're not even going to let us talk about it.
Oh, I guess I could. Yeah,
it's not like we're going to put it anywhere else, but hey, you're getting ahead of yourself there,
I was
pal.
going to write it, then switch it, but I guess there's no...
Is it better than Toy Story?
No. Okay, now you can write it up there.
Oh, really? Thank you. You're going to make me do so much writing.
This is one where I think this is the birth of why I don't like liar reveal plots. And this one handles it fine, but I think every movie and TV, kids' animated TV show started doing that storyline. I'd like an apostrophe between G and S, please.
Oh, really? You're going to be that specific?
Yes.
You're really going to make...
There we go.
Better.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that. I really hope this shows up well.
Yeah, I think there's that as Jake has said in other episodes, secondhand embarrassment, like that moment where they shine the lights on Flick, and because all Francis says, hey, we thought Flick's idea was gonna work. Oops. And at that point, I remember being a kid just cringing, just this, you just retreat into your shell, and I didn't do anything wrong. But it's like I'm feeling that secondhand embarrassment, and everyone's looking at him, and they're like, "How could you?" And you lied to us, and all that. And
it pulls it off well.
Yeah, it's good. It's just I think that's where it comes from. Where I was like,
Yeah. Well, that's fair. I will say I love how, at least I don't know why for me, and every time I think of it, it's like the side character. Like always remember Dennis Leary's like Ladybug.
Francis.
He always I don't know why, but that face. In just the way that the book is drawn, just like it stands out to me. Like I don't know why I just always think of that thing. So that I freaking love Dennis Leary in that role.
Did you have it on VHS?
Yes.
They did one of those things where they had the 4 different covers with a different character on each one. One had Flick, one had Hopper, one had Francis, and I don't remember who the other was. Probably Ada.
Probably, yeah. So I probably had
someone like that. I could probably look it up, or maybe like Heimlich or someone. I just remember, maybe there's more than 4. I just remember like you have your copy, and I was like, hey, we got the copy, and then you see other people's at their house, and you're like, that's not right.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For the collector, Jared.
Yeah.
If you saw all 4 of the different copies of VHS tapes at this point in life, would you buy them specifically to have the 4 different covers?
I don't know. If they're free, yeah.
Well.
Oh, I've gotten so many VHS tapes in the last couple of years from people for free.
It'll be like you have a VCR, don't you?
It doesn't work.
Oh.
He needs to get a new one.
Yeah. Well, what happens is my mom has friends who, they're all middle aged and their kids are all adults now. So they have all these kids movies on VHS that they're not going to use. Mm-hmm. And other movies too. They're like, hey, I don't need these. I'm getting rid of them. Does Jared want them? And I'll look at them and go, I'll take some of these. I don't just take all of them. I mean, they had 2 of the Ronald McDonald animated thing, The Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald.
Those
of course
things
I'm
are
going to
out of my nightmares.
They're so funny. They're so funny. Yeah, and it's that same era. That was late 90s, early 2000s is when those were being sold in the McDonald's locations. And
I probably had like a good chunk of all of these movies on VHS, like and had those old like games. Like it was just looking at the list. I think my family
them on VHS.
Oh man. Mm-hmm. I think the first 12 of these my mom had bought in some format for us, because by the time you get to Toy Story 3, I'm in high school, my sister's in college, and my brother's in middle school. It's like we're still watching them, but it's not like we can go out and buy them too. Well, me and my sister could have. Mm-hmm. But I'm just looking. Yeah, I think Brave is the first one she didn't buy, and I don't know if she's bought anything post Brave.
Yeah, I had up to Ratatouille.
Who was it of our friends that made it his business to buy every single Pixar film?
That was Aaron.
Yeah, I wonder if he ever made it to the end. Aaron, we want to know if you ever actually made it to getting all of these.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he but it was Blu-ray specifically, right?
I think it switched halfway through and he had to go back and buy some of them again.
That's what happens.
Because Aaron, like you and I, has a real hard issue with cases that are different sizes.
Well, yeah, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still mad that Seinfeld season 4 is not in one of the smaller cases. It doesn't look good on my shelf. Stuff like that.
Yep.
Well, plus, because they're like $30 or $40 when they're new, because it's Disney property and it's new and it's Blu-ray. Just
now
you can't buy a bunch of them in bulk, so you have to buy them, over time, and then eventually new formats come out.
Well, yeah, now they're leaning into 4K and all that.
Yeah, at least the cases are the same size.
Did you know that this is a complete side topic? The copy of Fabelmans I bought was cheaper on 4K than it was to buy it on a Blu-ray.
Because no one has 4K players.
I do.
You have a 4K player?
Yeah, the PS5 is a 4K player.
Oh.
A reason that I want the PS5.
Did you get it?
One of several.
Oh. One of several.
I mean, there's now going to be 2 Jedi games on it, which the first one's fantastic. I got to believe the second one's going to be fantastic.
But yeah, no, I genuinely am probably would use my Switch more, but you can play Rocket League on it, so I could.
How many 4Ks do you own?
One.
What is it?
Knives Out.
That's a good pick.
It's a great one.
How many 4Ks you got?
One.
I have a handful. Again, you don't have a. You have a player, but when we don't.
You buy them from Criterion, though.
Some of them, I always buy. I like because completionist collector. When there's a Best Picture nominee that's a Criterion, I get it. And of course, when Power of the Dog came out, of course I bought it. And then someone said, "Oh, did you get the 4K?" And I laughed. I'm not spending money on Power of the Dog like that. Just normal Blu-ray. Jake and I don't like Power of the Dog that much. Or what's the better title?
Are you gonna?
Ropeback Mountain.
Ropeback Mountain.
Oh God.
A Bug's Life though. A Bug's Life and Power of the Dog are the same
Oh
thing.
my God. So
I think it's in its right spot.
Yeah.
I think it was bland. I think it is
You think it's bland?
color tone wise.
I mean, color
Yeah.
tone-wise, I can see, but it's also they try to make it earthy, and I think that was kind of.
It's better than Ants.
It's better.
I'll give it that.
It beats the ant line, yeah.
And it's not even. I don't think it's that close either. I think
It's not that close.
It's got a better story. It's a more cliche story than Ants. But it's better told, and the characters are more likable.
DreamWorks is petty, but it's almost like they didn't have the technology to be petty.
Yeah, it's
And
like
that
they really
human
just-
leg in Ants, I'm going to keep bringing it up, where it's like not connected to anything,
Which
is
one?
disgusting in Ants.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
At the picnic. That
Oh.
leg, the shoe coming down, it's like the super long leg that connects to nothing.
yeah,
This
And then Pixar was right to not have humans in it.
yeah.
this one, Bug's Life. I didn't see it when it came out. I wasn't. Toy Story was that turning point where they started to turn away from Renaissance style animation.
Not quite.
Where they started to though.
Like, because Pixar wasn't part of Disney at this point. That started the whole domino effect because
Yeah.
I think 10 years later is Disney's first fully CGI.
Yeah,
and
that's
Chicken
what I'm
Run.
saying. Is it started the turn?
Chicken Little.
I didn't particularly. Let's not
Chicken
talk about
Little?
Chicken Little. Oh,
But you love Zach Braff outside of Scrubs.
no!
I wish I was here. And you got to say where?
Where?
In the Garden State.
Waiting for that last kiss.
Oh, I'm trying to think of another one, but I'm laughing too hard at that. Keep going.
Anyway, Toy Story was the turd that started the world down the trend of CG animated movies. I didn't buy into it at Toy Story. Like I said, I didn't really like Toy Story a whole lot. I watched it a ton, but I didn't really connect with it, and it just kind of skipped A Bug's Life. So that's right for me
Yeah, it's definitely
right now, anyways.
Yeah, and I think Bug's Life might hold up there.
It's kind of a would you say hidden gem of theirs? Because it's better than a lot of what they put out in the 2010s.
It is.
People just kind of forget about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of that early movie people forget about.
Well, because it like there's not like an iconic princess or like character that's like sold.
Well, there are two princesses in it.
I mean,
Well,
there
that's
there
true,
are
but
iconic characters in it. I mean,
They just don't
everybody
market them
remembers
anymore.
Francis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Everybody
remembers
remembers the butterfly bug,
the butterfly bug.
what's
Who did the
where?
butterfly?
and then the
stick?
the horn beatable. Yeah, everybody remembers the circus characters
Yeah.
primarily.
I just feel like they don't market it nearly as much anymore. Like you just don't hear about it. Like
They had didn't they have a whole Bug's Life playground area in Disney?
They
or
might.
something?
There's an attraction.
There is
You
it's
sit
a
in an
3D
auditorium and it's
thing.
like Flick's World of Bugs or something. I went through that attraction about 10 years
It's
ago.
fun. It's something.
I thought
Yeah.
when I went. No, I went in 90.
Well, you went in 96.
I went in 96, and then I went. So if I would, this would have been in 2000. I thought it was a playground, but now I might be confusing. it with Honey, I Shrunk
There
the
was a
Kids.
playground because I went to that as well.
Oh, you
I
were playing on
remember-
the playground? Were you beating kids up with your lightsaber?
No, I didn't
well, that's why it
playground
doesn't
last
work
time.
anymore.
Like, when I was a little kid, my parents took me and I would climb over all the stuff. They said I loved it. So
Yeah, it was just like big plastic
Yes, there used to
blades
be
of
that.
grass and
they don't have that
mushrooms
anymore.
and stuff.
It's gone.
Dickey reenacting the Youngling scene from Revenge of the Sith on the playground at Disney.
levels on that.
Uh,
Just chopping down children.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Next one.
Yeah, well, might as well just jump to the next one,
Yep.
which is number 3, Toy Story 2. I'm just going to write up here, and then we'll switch it around.
Yep. So write the 3 in. Go ahead. Look at that 3. Well, you don't have to write it in right now.
More legend.
Well, just so you can, like, visualize it. Just so
We
you
just
can...
said it.
Well, just 'cause I said
You're going
it.
to be writing twice as much. I'm speaking
know,
from a veteran
listen,
here.
I am well
A
aware
veteran
that
of the chalk.
He's
I'm well
also
aware
not
that
a
I'm-
crybaby.
I am well aware that I'm going to be
Wait,
writing
it's
twice as
Dickey.
much. But if you're watching us on YouTube, which you should because we have a cool setup going, then you can actually visualize and see that I'm writing it on the board.
But
while
then
we're
you're just
talking
going to,
about it.
whatever. What you want to
It's
do?
just going to be more
Just let him do what he
entertaining,
wants to
alright?
do.
Yeah.
He's going to be in pain more often than
I
that.
hope
will
you
be
inhale chalk
interesting.
dust and collapse.
Chalk dust.
Chalk zone. Rudy's got the
That
chalk.
was a good show.
That's a great show.
Rudy's got the chalk.
Yes. But anyway, the third movie we got going is Toy Story 2 from 1999.
It's one of the best ones.
I know where you obviously know where I stand. Toy Story. If you not, then the Toy Story 2 should be the number 1 movie. I love Toy Story 2 so much. They literally build on. It's like The Empire Strikes Back. Obviously,
Here we go.
It is, but it's like The Empire.
Do you need to
Strikes
walk
Back
off
and Toy
camera real
Story.
quick while you talk about Empire?
I can't help it.
I am going to
Spitting
agree
out
with him
loud.
that it sits in number 1 spot at the moment.
At the moment.
I think it's better than Toy Story.
It took me years to get to that point.
I think there's way more emotion, world building, blah blah blah. It is the birth of the twist villain, which makes me upset. But
they do it well.
yeah,
It's one of those. It's not a gotcha. It's more of a that makes sense. Oh, there was something happening in the middle of the movie that we thought was someone, and it was him.
Yeah, I guess it's also kind of more than a twist villain because of the whole exiting the box thing. It makes it a little deeper, I think.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't think it'd be him.
Yeah.
And then it ends up, and it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Now then, there's all the people who pick it apart because they have nothing else to do. It's like, well, it was right there. Wouldn't they have seen him do that? It's like, I think you're thinking about this just a little too hard.
And
That's
also
our
it has-
job here.
It
You
has
also couldn't have that happen.
Woody.
Things to die.
You meant Woody. Woody couldn't or whatever.
Woody.
I was trying to work it in.
and there's something very satisfying about the painting Woody scene.
Yes, there is.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
That,
I could.
when he takes the brush and just
Over
right
the
over
Andy-
Andy's name.
yes.
Jake, thank you for mentioning that. I can literally I feel like I can just touch the movie screen. I'm like, hi, that looks so nice. Like
It's for
it is-
display only.
Oh.
You mess with them too much.
Well, it's the same guy from the little thing.
Jerry's
though.
Game.
Yeah, Jerry's Game. I love that. This
That,
is
that that threw me off as a kid because he had a different voice. Because in Jerry's Game, he doesn't talk, but he has like a sounding voice. But then in this, he's like this.
yeah.
It's like, what happened to his voice? Who won the chess game? You know.
We should know, honestly. They should have told us with this.
That game would have taken so long because he had to stand up and switch seats every time. That would have been like a 5-hour game. That would have been longer than our DreamWorks finale.
Oh my God.
But then also, Toy Story 2 has probably the most emotional song for Pixar.
Honestly,
Up the top there with the Coco song for
That's
sure.
what I was
like
about to
people. That's
say.
what people are gonna battle on. Like, of course, I'm gonna go with the Toy Story 2 one because I like the movie better. But
I think it has the longevity more
I
proven
think
longevity.
I think it's because when you have Sarah McLachlan record it, and all I can see in my head are like crying dogs.
remember you. That's all you can.
In the arms of an angel. Not trying to make fun of her.
No, I know,
It's just-
exactly. It's just it's
when-
iconic.
when
It's
you
iconic.
when your entire career now boils down to dog shelter commercials or not just dog shelter, like animal shelters, it's like that's what people are gonna think of.
Yep, exactly.
And
But
that
this-
I thought I was gonna cry on this watch. I know you always cry. Because I'm like, okay, I've never cried at this scene, but you get emotional. I'm like, what if now me, 28 years old, am I gonna cry at the scene? Nope. But probably one day I will.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how long that will take. But I was feeling, I was like, man, so good, and it's all in the lyrics of the song too.
Yes.
There's no talking, and that's as we probably said in our episode too. When you have a theater full of kids and adults being quiet and crying over the same thing like that, that's when you know you've got something good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and this will make everybody cry.
yeah, and it didn't win the Oscar though. It lost to the Tarzan song.
Holy crap! Which one?
You'll be in my heart.
I don't know which one I like more. That's really tough, Jared. Oh my god, I can't believe. So it's fair to assume that I can move Toy Story 2 to number 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, you have to move all of them, actually.
Yup. Well, actually, all you have to do is put 2 and then erase the other 2.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, no, you have to erase Toy Story 2 completely. Never mind. Because Toy Story is better than A Bug's Life. So you just add the 2, now you have to erase the other 2. And yeah, that's fine. Okay. For a second, I thought he had a good cheat. But
Yeah, I was
no.
like, wait a second, can I just do that?
The one thing with Toy Story 2, though, this time, it did feel a lot shorter than I remember. Haven't
That's
you
not a
noticed that
bad
too?
thing.
No. Have you noticed that too?
I've noticed that about a lot of movies from my childhood. Not so much like these kept feeling like they kept getting longer.
Because they did.
Well,
Their average time's got to be over 100 minutes now from this past decade.
Guess what? There's nothing wrong with a short movie, and I love it. Like especially these.
I mean, it just has to have a story. The short movie, that is.
Here
It
we
can't
go.
just exist to reference itself.
No, of course not. That would be horrible, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would be truly horrible.
would.
Who would
It'd be-
want to watch a movie like that?
I mean, apparently enough people to make it $1 billion.
Next one.
That's a yeah. Yeah, we're gonna.
Alrighty.
On,
That's for the Illumination watch through, which is never
No.
going
No.
to happen.
No.
all right. Well, on that note, we're gonna do number 4, which is going to be Monsters Incorporated, which came out in 2001.
I saw it twice, I think.
Dude,
In theaters?
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that in theaters?
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw.
We
that
got
in
brought to it, and then
theaters.
my aunt was like, hey, you want to come see this movie? I'm sure. So I saw it again.
I didn't know that. I'm not going to write it on the board because after I wrote 3, you wrote 3.
How
that
long?
was
Okay.
way too
How
much.
long did that last? Did he write? Did he one round? He went one round and realized, I don't want it to write this, and then erase it just to move things every time. It's almost like me, a veteran of the chalk, told you that like 5 minutes ago. And then Jake, you were right. Let him do it. He'll figure it out. I thought it would take him a couple more. No, it was right away.
I think there was something about the idea of having to rewrite all 3 of those names.
As soon as I all 3,
Because then eventually
oh,
it's going
no.
to turn into you have to rewrite all 26 of them. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Dickey died.
Yep.
All it takes is one of the late movies to rank high for you to have to erase almost everything and rewrite it.
This is why we
terrible.
had Dickey do it.
Yep. Well, I still like being up here and having room, but writing is.
We like you over there too. There's more of a gap between us.
And the mic's picking him up more normally.
Because it's like 8 feet away from him. And it's not going to echo in our mics now because we're like...
That's the best part. It's not good. It's actually going to sound really good.
I mean, it actually might echo in our mics just because these are very sensitive mics, but not as badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's crying a little bit.
Monsters Incorporated.
Monsters Incorporated. Yeah, so it's interesting to see. I saw this 2 times in theaters. I only saw this at home, but I watched. I don't know if I had the VHS or one of my cousins did, because we watched it all the time. So this is like, honest to God, this is one of my favorites. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I would.
We had the DVD. That was one of our first DVDs, I feel like.
Was it really?
Well, because disc 2 was just chock full of stuff. And we'd play with disc 2 all the time. Just
One of those ones you fall asleep and you wake up and one of the annoying games is on.
Yep.
Like the Shrek one.
Did you ever have the crap? What was it? It was a I think it was a Monsters Inc. GameCube game.
No.
No. It was.
I think I had consoles growing up.
Oh, okay. It was a fun one. So I
Was
think
it your
that's the other
first
thing I
console, the
think of.
Wii?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, to be fair, the one after the GameCube. But
True.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Monsters Inc. It's so much fun stuff on it.
I was 15 when we got it, though. So most of my childhood was already gone.
I was a sophomore in college when I got the Wii.
Well, we got it a couple years, like 3 years after it released.
It was a good console.
I did have consoles growing up, though. always got them from my aunt. I should probably talk louder.
It's like the levels barely just.
It's just
Poor person who's hearing Jake talk cranks their audio. I should probably talk louder. Blasts into their ear.
Dickey, you're making it peak and you're 10 feet away from it.
I don't know how not to full set my laugh.
Sorry, listeners. Dickey just went dog whistle.
I can't help it sometimes.
Apple whistle.
Yes, it's Apple whistle. Oh my gosh. But just curious, where would you rank Monsters Inc.
I'd probably put. I don't think it reaches the emotional depth of those two Toy Story ones, but it's still really good. I think it's gonna stick around up there.
So
Or well, if I say that, we got some big hitters coming.
we do.
But it's another one, just like Jake's saying. When you're little, it feels like it's longer, and then you watch it, it flies by.
It's so
And it's
so
really
amazed.
funny. His reactions to thinking Boo is getting crushed. It's so fun, and I think they've been memed now,
Oh, what they
of course.
definitely
But
have.
and it's also got some of the best music. Pixar. It's just fun. It's so much fun, and the world is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool enough for me to
God.
watch a full season
Here we go.
of Monsters at Work.
The only
Season
person-
2's coming, baby. I'm
only
gonna watch
person
it
that
for
watches
some
the
reason.
show.
Season 2.
When is it coming?
I don't know.
Okay.
About
When
the
is it?
I think it's this year.
Is this year?
about the same time we get season 2 of Kenobi.
Oh, that's happening? Let's not.
No.
Oh,
I wish
okay.
that was happening.
Yeah, so we could get an actual good season.
Yeah. Let's try to fix what happened in the first one.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
Monsters. It's fun. I wouldn't put it up there with those Toy Stories. It is better than A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
It's more
I agree.
memorable, and I mean, it's spawned a franchise too. So that means it's popular enough.
All right.
So yeah, you're putting it third.
Yep.
We're agreeing on that.
Jake, I was gonna say you agree with number 3.
Yep. No disagreement here on that. Mostly because I have no attachment to that movie.
So good. God, okay, yeah, this is. You know, I'm good at writing with Sharpies, but or marker boards, but this is hard.
Now you know how I felt writing all of the DreamWorks movies over and
Do you
over.
have a normal marker board, or is it just all chalkboard?
It's behind that, but we don't have any markers. And also, I went through this, so you won't know my pain, but you'll know some of it. Wow, you stink at this.
I don't know why it's not coming. Oh, there we go.
Remember, just like I did, you can shorten the titles if you so choose.
Tell him that.
Oh, I forgot you did that. Wait, so what was Bugs Life?
Munsters? What is that second
Okay,
letter?
That's an O, but it's hard to see.
Oh, no.
Monsters. You can read that, right?
Now I can, because you actually wrote it.
Okay, so then
It's fun. I like being over here with you, Jake.
Can I just write bugs for this? The answer's reasonable.
On one condition. You put the stinking apostrophe every time. It's just like Reese's. There's an apostrophe in there.
No, it's not. It's Reese's Pieces.
That is wrong. It is a
What they
person's
call
name. Reese's Pieces.
Reese's-
Oh, hearing that every day, it's like, I can judge your intelligence by how you pronounce Reese's Pieces. They're like, well, did you hear the commercials? Yes, if they say Reese's.
So then is Reese's peanut butter cups?
Yeah, Reese's.
Reese's.
So it would be Reese's Pieces.
Reese's
Yes.
Pieces.
This is wrong.
And I know it doesn't make any
Say
sense.
Las Vegas.
I know it doesn't make any sense.
Say I'm a big dumb loser with a stupid backwards hat.
Now it's forward.
Say I'm a big
That
dumb
was
loser
not
with
the
a stupid
finger I
forward
thought I was
hat.
gonna see. That's not the finger I was expecting. Anything else on Monsters Incorporated?
Sorry, just had to take a quick sip of water here. I'm yelling a lot, so I don't like the whistle.
I don't have anything else to say. I think that's the right place.
So Jake, you didn't watch Monsters Incorporated when it came out, right?
No.
And guess what? Dickey didn't watch this next movie when he was supposed to.
Yeah!
The next one is Finding Nemo
I
from
will
2003.
Listen, I watched it after.
After the fact, what does that do? What's that going to
Hey,
do?
hey guys, I got more to say about Finding Nemo that we covered a week
Dickie,
ago.
This is Inside Out. We're 10 episodes later. We don't give a crap. Just
I just want you to know.
watch them in order. Watch them once a week, and actually watch them.
I barely
But
gave
I've
a,
already seen it many times.
I
It's one of my favorites.
I barely gave a crap when we were talking about it.
Just we gave you.
There was 1 week where like I had crap back to back to back.
Can you have one of these series where you watch them right? You watch them out of order. You watched them out of order last time. Out of order. We told you to go in order. Well, I thought. And then this time, what do we say? Once a week. And you didn't do that. You watched the first 3 in one day. And then we said, okay, keep going in the right way. And then you skip one. You watched the first 3 in one day, then you skipped the 5th one. You did, in the first 5 weeks, you did one thing right, basically. Do you need more water?
I'm gonna have more water, yes. Oh my gosh.
But Finding Nemo is a very good movie, and I'm sick of it.
Me too.
Why are you sick of it, Jake?
Because I've seen it 75,000 times.
Same.
We all have. That's what they played at school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I hate it.
That's why I have to see. It's
I'm tired of people
a
quoting.
comfort movie.
It is a very comforting movie with that music.
Come on.
That music is really good.
Are you telling me you can't just sit down?
Is it John Williams Jr.?
No, who did do the music? Was it Thomas Newman?
I think it's a Newman. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Randy. I know that. I think
No,
it's
I know
Thomas
it wasn't.
Newman.
Yeah, I think it is.
Here-
But well, go ahead.
But
I mean, I recognize that it's good, and I recognize it's coming. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
we're gonna have another one after this that you're gonna say the same
I'm
thing.
even more tired of that.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Thomas Newman.
Yeah. I will say, just like other things that happen with movies, watching the sequel made me appreciate this one a lot more.
Yes.
When you watch Finding Dory, not to get into Finding Dory, it because it references the first movie so much,
What,
it
you-
makes me rethink
You
how.
mean Finding Nemo remastered?
Yes. Sorry.
Well, Finding Nemo like cartoonified, if that makes sense.
Finding Nemo remastered.
Yeah, remastered.
Well, if you compare the reunion scene of Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, like the two scenes, Dory's because we see them together in the flashback so much and just how it's built up, it's just kind of, the Finding Nemo one feels earned. And it gets cut short because then
That's the
they
best
both
part.
showcase their growth
That's the best part.
and trust each other. And it's like,
Yes.
this is actually really good.
It is so good. I that's literally like the best part. And yeah, and you're right though, because I like because in Finding Nemo the best part is that like you have both of them like Nemo's trying to go find, his dad, and then his dad's trying to find Nemo, but like you don't see the parents trying to find her really all that much.
And even that one should be we don't see them at all until
Yeah.
the reunion. That's
Yeah.
the best way to or you see like images or shadows of them because you can't remember them. That makes it more effective. Don't bump my mic.
It's okay.
Your mic?
I bought it.
Oh.
That was a bad swing.
Actually, which one of these is? I can't remember which ones are your stands and my stands. I think 2 of these are yours and 2 of these are mine. And I think 3 of the mics are mine.
I have no idea. I don't think it matters right now.
It doesn't matter. I'm just. But you brought it up. You're like your mic. Yeah, bought
I
that
thought you
one.
meant that mic.
Oh. So anyway, I was just gonna say that reunion scene is really effective. Albert Brooks is really funny. That is not an original thought in the slightest. He's been funny for a long time, especially in this movie. He's perfect for that role.
He nailed it. He was like him and Ellen, like their like chemistry was so funny. I really, as annoying as like her character can get sometimes, at least now.
It's not. Now this movie, it's fine. Again, it's a joke, but it's not like the second movie where it's like let's just do the same joke to the point of like we're kind of making fun of her.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I don't think it's as bad.
No, and they do it tastefully. Like, and sometimes the jokes because of it are funny. Like I remember you guys remember the when the fish were changing into like different shapes, and they did like the
school
arrow,
fish,
the
yeah.
swordfish. Like that was fun. Like I don't know why that scene will always stick out with me. That was like one of the funniest scenes in that
Blah
whole
blah
movie.
blah me me blah 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 me me me.
Oh god, it's so iconic, especially in the wahoo wahi ah oh oh oh. Come on, iconic.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a nice juxtaposition between the road trip through the sea and them being in the tank with the ticking time. It's kind of a cool. It's a very well structured story.
Yeah.
What the hell happened last decade with their stories?
That's a very good question.
What happened?
Again, why are you jumping so far forward?
Because all we can do now is look back to when Pixar was good.
We got to build up the suspense, man.
I know. I'm just wondering.
And the magic right here is hard. Like, honestly, that's a weird way to phrase it. I don't know.
I wasn't thinking about it like that until he said it.
Just the magic is hard. Regardless, I try to
He said it
think if
again.
I would rank it above.
Does it make it better?
No.
Huh.
Yeah, it kind of made it
Do you think it's
worse.
better than Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah.
I think it might be better than Toy Story.
Hmm.
The animation is definitely a step
Oh,
above.
it's a step up. That's what 8 years will
The
do.
music is step 2. They put way more into the music, I think, for
They
this
did.
than they did for Toy. I think it's better than Toy Story 1.
I don't think I'm gonna win that
I was
battle.
gonna say I don't think it's better than Toy Story 1, just because I have such a. But
Interesting
that's just
pushback
me-
on one of his favorite ones.
Well, it's because he didn't watch it.
I did
That's
watch
right.
it. That's not why. I watched it and I love this movie. But I think it's just because my nostalgia specifically is attached. It's
So
like
you're basing it off of personal preference.
How do you turn that off? You can't.
You
So-
can. You watch the Mario movie.
Bro, if I was going off of personal preference, I'd put Finding Nemo in the middle.
Okay, then fair enough. And fight for that. I would fight. For
I don't
it
want
be lower.
to because it's a good movie.
He'd
My
swing
personal
through the
preference is
trench.
different than it being a good movie.
Well, it's hard for me to separate those two for me. I love both.
Oh,
of
we
them.
know.
And there's nothing wrong with that because
See, I'm almost gonna go with him on the Finding Nemo over Toy Story thing because he's bringing up good points. I need a good counter for that.
I just.
What's the counter?
like for me? It just. I really do think
The counter would be that Toy Story
the character
is a
will-
turning point for culture itself.
Well, I was gonna say, I think when I think of Toy Story, I think of more characters. There's more characters that stand out to me rather than Finding Nemo's. Just and I don't necessarily just mean need more is better, but I just think being able to juggle that many different characters is at least a little impressive. And
They both have a
also,
lot of characters.
And don't forget that this really is
What
the
has a
movie
lot
that
of characters?
started off
Both.
everything. If this movie was not good,
That's what I just said.
what?
Toy Story is a turning point for culture itself.
It is, and yeah, that's like Jake's right. Like that's why I think it's that it's more iconic, and I think because that it has just the edge on, just the edge.
Yeah, I think.
You going with him now?
I don't.
Which is funny because it's not like it's me or him. It's you made the point.
That's a hard thing to argument because Toy Story is just so big.
It just
but
did
so
so
is
much,
Finding
and that's
Nemo
why,
though. Like,
yeah.
I like Toy Story better, so it's also hard to pick.
Nate,
Finding Nemo does do a very good split story
can you-
narrative.
Can you even remember a time before you knew, or can you even remember a time when you knew someone that didn't know what just keep swimming was?
That's
like,
true.
Toy Story was a turning point, yes, but Finding Nemo, I think, has aged better. All right, here's the deal. I'm going to push for Finding Nemo being better as a movie than Toy Story 1. That's what I think. I think Toy Story changed culture. It did. That's true. That is not denying that Finding Nemo has a deeper story that has connected with just as many people for almost as long.
20 years.
Yeah.
It's like, but I just okay.
There's no real villain in it.
No, there is.
Well,
There's two. There's the dentist
Oh.
and his niece.
I don't think about them as villains.
They are kind of villains.
They are.
It's
They
fair.
play a villain role. The shark does at some point. I can't
That's
What's
remember.
his
right,
name? Who's your favorite one? What's his
I
name?
forgot it for a second. Bruce.
do you-
Thank you. Making sure I'm right. Did I?
Anyway, I think it's better than Toy Story. I know what you were saying about characters. I get what you're saying. I think there's just as many characters, and I think they're just as memorable, even though you can't remember the shark's name, and I can't remember the
it's
dentist's
Bruce,
name.
just like Jaws.
I don't know. Yeah,
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Wasted.
Yeah, like-
we will always remember that.
Do you
That's
remember
true.
Andy's address?
No.
That's not a part of it because he's moving, idiot.
Yeah, dummy. It doesn't matter where he lives.
Shut
It's
up!
his
I'm
heart.
convincing him.
He
Just
lives
say-
in the tri-state area or tri-county area or something like that.
I don't know.
The other thing is, I feel like Nemo, you also just look at it a little bit, not to keep going, but I feel like Nemo also just has the advantage of having better technology. I feel like if they had that kind of technology when they were making Toy Story, they could have at least made it look better.
You could say that about anything, though. The fact is, it looks better.
Well, yeah, that's at least adds to your enjoyment of the movie.
Dickey, how much do I enjoy Finding Nemo?
That's what I'm saying.
I want you to think about
That's
this.
what
I
I'm
want you to
saying.
think about this. How much do I enjoy Toy Story versus how much do I enjoy Finding Nemo? And I am still able to say that I think Finding Nemo is better than Toy Story.
I think he's right.
Well, the majority wins. So
I feel like personally, maybe if I was by myself, I'd put Toy Story above it. But in the moment, he's convincing me otherwise. Also, it means you have to erase more.
You cannot use that as an argument.
That's just the cherry on top of the
it's
in-your-face milkshake. I drink it up.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Calm down, Daniel Day-Lewis.
I miss him.
Me too. Do you think a song and dance and your superstition would help you? Put the apostrophe!
That fit really well into that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the story is deeper and better.
Isn't there an
that's
apostrophe in Monsters as well?
No.
There's not.
there's
Okay.
not.
I
How
suppose
many of these actually have an apostrophe?
There is a comma. Oh, but he didn't put the ink, so.
Yeah, you do have to put the comma. And the period.
Why?
He didn't put the
Oh,
ink,
dang
though.
it. I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen at one
Hey, I did it too, and you both made fun of me. Now you get to laugh at you. You knuckle-dragging troglodyte.
What?
Troglodytes don't have knuckles.
But he is dragging right now.
Oh, my gosh.
He's definitely
What am I
dragging it.
watching?
No, you're dragging it.
What are you looking down there? There's no Mars bar down there.
Toy 1.
Oh, shit.
Nino!
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 Well, I don't know who's there. I just want to get going. Nino, Nino, Nino.
Nino!
Nino, Nino, Nino. Honey, Nino, Nino, Nino. If you're wondering, the real song is Reno. Guess where that is?
I have no idea.
It's in the same state as Las Vegas. Now, do you pronounce it Nevada or Nevada?
I usually say Nevada.
Yeah, I think they're both right.
Yeah.
I always say Nevada, and I don't know why I say it that way and other people say it other ways. How do you say it?
Nevada.
Yeah.
Nevada.
The people who are right are the people who are from there. So maybe we'll ask a Nevada
Yeah, we should-
Didian.
Do you know people from
Not
Oregon
Canadian?
say it differently?
I
Say
don't
Oregon.
even say Oregon. I say Oregon.
Oregon. Yeah.
And I don't think it's right, is it? Or do they?
I don't
say
know. I don't
Oregon?
know. Usually I hear them say Oregon.
I bet they go to.
It might be Oregon. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I do know someone from there.
You do.
Yeah.
He left you
Yes,
for
he did.
forever. Just like Dickey's going to.
That's not even. I swear.
The next one is another big one that Jake is not a fan of
Oh yeah.
because it was everywhere and in everything, and everyone quoted it because it is amazing, and I can understand where people get very, very, very tired of it, but I love it personally. The Incredibles. About sums it up.
Incredible.
Incredibly.
You could. It's like I think we even talked about in the episode. Like, it's got to be in that conversation of best superhero movies ever made.
Oh yeah. 1000%.
Like of Raimi's first 2 Spider-Man movies are in there. The Dark Knight trilogy. Burton's. Unfortunately, only his first Batman movie enters that conversation. When the second one's better
His second. Yeah. Second one's.
because it's darker, it's cooler, and there's no Prince. 3 positives.
Prince is fun.
Anyway.
But and also, don't forget the Underminer.
Okay, the last 2, not even 2, like a minute of the movie.
Exactly. The best.
That's
part
the whole out of everything in this movie. Now he's memorable, but out of all things to bring up first in this short little discussion, it's the
Short
Underminer.
little discussion.
I just think it's really funny how after everything, and I don't know. It feels like a throwaway joke, but at the same time, it feels hilarious that after every single thing, something comes and undermines it all, and then we just cut it off. For me, it's just like stupid, chaotic fun.
What? You like something stupid
And chaotic?
Who would
and fun?
who would have guessed
2 out of
it?
3 ain't bad.
Ah.
Who would have guessed it? But yes, that is why it stands. That's why I love it.
Even on
I
this
know what
watch, seeing it a million times as a kid, and
Mm.
it'd been a while. I think I said when you watch it, incredibly well paced,
Yeah.
fun, funny, great characters,
Yes.
great villain. I was laughing a lot listening to Jason Lee.
He's so much fun. You can tell. I feel like I've never. Have you ever seen the behind the scenes for this at all?
Again, another one that had a disc 2 that had so many features, and we would spend hours on those.
Because I never watched any of the behind the scenes stuff because we watched it a lot with my family friends, but so I never watched any of the behind the scenes. But I would love to see Jason Lee in the studio just yelling and screaming like Syndrome.
If they have the footage.
Yeah.
They did have, the screen where he's seeing all the supers that have been killed?
Yeah.
You can read full bios on all those supers. Like they have an archive of it.
That's
It's all
so
their
cool.
names, their powers, what they look like, their, how long they live, like everything
That is
you
cool.
see. Like they put a lot of effort into that, and I think that's fun stuff. That doesn't affect the movie as much, but that's just it's a cool thing. I was gonna say the Syndrome scene that gets me is when he's talking to him when he captures him, and he's just like, he goes, until you had to ruin the ride, you sent out a homing device. Oh, help me, lame. I had to pause it and laugh because I was dying, and I'm just like,
such a good
this is just so much fun.
It's such a because the best line in that. Oh, you sly dog! You call me model.
He said that in the episode 2, and I think I said my thing in the episode 2.
I
So we got to stop ourselves here.
It's so
'Cause
hard.
Jake,
It's
we're
so
gonna keep
hard.
going,
It's so
and Jake's gonna be
hard.
sitting there going.
I know. I just get talking about how much I love it. I gotta shut it off.
I think one thing it does really well for being about superheroes in this day and age now, where the superhero market's giant in the film and TV industry, they actually complement each other's powers as a team perfectly.
Like everyone says, this is the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever got. It's true.
Which is not a high bar,
no,
to be
it's
fair.
not.
But those scenes when they're working together, it's like that's what a lot of like these MCU and DCU movies don't have as much of, especially now. They don't play off each other's powers very well.
Which is
Like
such
the
a,
team up, it just not that it's always terrible,
Well,
but
I mean, to
it
be
just
fair, we haven't seen. Okay, this is a side tangent. Totally, we haven't seen all their powers together except for the Eternals.
yeah.
that is
I don't know.
fair.
No Way Home, you have 3 Spider-Men bouncing off each other.
We don't count that as a
Because
fun
it's
thing.
good?
Yeah.
What? You can count that.
Well, and you did see the Snyder cut, right?
I watched 45 minutes of it. And I couldn't.
Dude, there's
finish
like
all
4
of it.
more hours. It's
I,
wonderful.
that's why I didn't
It's
finish it.
actually wonderful.
Yeah, it's actually like when you get to the points, because it takes a while to get there. When they are working together, it works pretty well.
I have heard it works well. It was a really long thing, and I sat down to watch it, and I'm like, I can't.
You can watch it in parts. They're literally split into parts on HBO Max. You can see them on the timeline.
That's
My
true.
guy-
I should go back to
My
it.
guy, if I can watch Dr. Zhivago, you can sit through the Snyder Cut. And that's not saying much because Dr. Zhivago's great.
But yeah, the what else can you say about The Incredibles?
Honestly,
Brad
it's
Bird
Juggernaut.
is just very good at directing action. You brought that up. We don't need to praise him any more than we already have in the other
Question
episode.
becomes, where does it go?
Well, it's easily above Bug's Life.
Yep.
It's better than Monsters
Better than Monsters.
Incorporated. I think it's better
I
than
think
First
it's better
Story.
than Toy Story.
I think
gonna
it's
say-
better than Finding Nemo.
Do you?
They both touch on family issues that are deeper than.
So
That's
this
tough.
is where
Okay, so
this is where I'm a biased person.
you get to.
I don't know because I don't like it that much. I recognize that it's good, but I think I like Finding Nemo better. But I understand, so I'm going to defer to you two.
Because I was gonna say personally, if I was sitting down like Saturday night and I was just going to watch one of these for fun, I feel like every single time I would pick The Incredibles. It's just in the.
So you're basing that off of preference of fun.
Yeah, because that's how I watch.
Finding the most fun. It's a different kind of fun.
Well, yeah, but that's how.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're basing it off of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm agreeing with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would put Incredibles second. I don't think it hits as deep as that second Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
But I would put it second for now. What?
I will also say, thank you, and also I can't believe. I think I would have had Toy Story 1 up there longer, but I feel like moving it down after Nemo broke the illusion. So now I'm like almost willing to put more things over Toy Story 1 than I would have realized.
Yeah,
before
that's
we
what
started
happens
doing
when we
this.
get in here. We start bringing up stuff. We go, huh? And it's also time removed from when we watch it also helps because we watched it, we got our thoughts down, and then now with some more times, like, you know what, rethinking about it. Yeah. So number 2, we're all good. Incredibles at number 2.
Yep. I am not good with what he just wrote, though. Can you see why?
Yeah.
At this point, should I just cut while we're...
What's that shirt company? I think it's like Aeropostale or something.
Aeropostale.
Guess what word that sounds like? Apostrophe. Put it on there. See, I don't know what's funnier, the punchline or me not knowing how to pronounce that.
Oh my God.
No, I was
Jared, that was beautiful.
Should
we help him?
I'm gonna get it.
D.
That's
D. I. B. L. E. S.
Shut up.
There's that finger.
Was the finger I was expecting. Just wait till he has to write it again and again and again and again and again and again.
Only 20 more times. Or 25 more times. Woo! No, 19.
Yeah.
20.
Now we can't count.
21.
This isn't important.
It's 20. 20, whatever. 20.
Okay.
So next is the black sheep of this early era. It is.
How does this world work again?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Cars is the 7th movie, and it came out in 2006, and it's longer than The Incredibles. It's almost 2 hours long. And didn't we say in the episode, if Cars was like 90 minutes, it would actually be a solid like Bug's Life tier movie.
I could see
that. But because it's just that long and way more stupid than any of these movies we've listed so far.
Mm-hmm. I could...
Oh my goodness! And people love these movies, and that's fine. But then, like, they really love them, and it make it, it's like, why?
You're right. There is no in between. You either actually really love this, or this is one of the dumbest movies of all of existence.
Jake, which one of those is you?
I really love it, but it's the dumbest movie in all of existence. Actually, it's the second dumbest movie in all of existence.
What's the first?
The Mario movie.
Oh, is that what you...
No, I actually got actual enjoyment out of that. Just whether or not it's a good movie is a
different conversation.
Yeah, it's a different conversation than if I enjoyed myself, which I didn't really, but
that first Cars movie is a nice movie to kind of sit back and relax to, because if you start thinking about any one part of it. And I'm still hung up on that ending race. I still am. I'm sorry.
What, with the tongue?
The whole point of... That's the beginning race.
That was the beginning one. Right, I got
the whole thing of, like, they literally could have their cake and eat it, too. I understand the whole sacrifice thing. Sure, I guess that's better for the story, whatever. Me as a sports person, I'm like, you could have won it and then just, like, then pushed him back to get third, and then you get everything you want. Again, it hurts the story, but me as a competitor, I'm like, dude, come on. But then it made Chick Hicks a Piston Cup winner. Good chicka. Good chicka.
Let's go. Oh my God, wait a minute. Blanking on.
It was Michael Keaton.
I was going to say Michael Keaton. Yeah, I'm blanking on. God bless him.
That must have been pretty embarrassing, but I wouldn't worry about it. Because I didn't do it. He's the best character that he's not in the movie anymore.
He's so funny.
Yeah, Dickey's going to be hung up, though, on the Rascal Flatts cover in there. And
I was about to mention.
Life is a highway.
Listen, I am sorry.
I'm going to ride it all night long.
Love that song. I will listen to that song days on end. It is in my summer driving playlist.
Yeah, but that song wasn't, like, made for that movie.
No.
The movie
it's a cover.
was made for it.
Yeah. But regardless, it's still a good song.
Irregardless.
Stop that!
Just it's such a funny. You look at these movies that they're making in the first decade and a half, that first era, and it's like, this is such a weird.
Then
This
cars.
is 11 years
And
into
planes.
because it came out in 2006. So yeah, it's a whole decade. A whole decade.
It's just an odd part of it. This is.
Is it
it's just-
safe to assume this is at the bottom?
Yeah.
I think it's better than Toy Story 2. Discuss.
Disgust.
I
I think you mean disgust.
There you go.
I like that.
This is exhausting.
Like the Mario movie.
Oh my gosh.
You can go ahead and write Cars at the bottom there.
That's what I was going to do.
At least you don't have to write anything.
Thank God I don't have to erase anything.
What's next? Oh. Oh boy.
Oh, I'm gonna have to rewrite everything. If
The next one is my favorite one and what I think is the best one. Ratatouille, the 8th one, came out in 2007.
I like his propaganda when he speaks.
yeah, he's
What I
pretty
think is the best one.
There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah, sure. You think it's the best one, but does everybody else think it's the
I
best
do.
one?
I think
it's the best one.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
I
Out of
think
all of them, out of Toy Story 2, you think this is better?
It's
After
clo-
how bad you were fighting for Toy Story 2?
it's got some of the best animation. It looks great. It still does. It's got the best score out of all of them. Johnny Boy
that-
Jr.
Johnny Boy Jr.,
It
but
is-
I think
it's-
Johnny Boy Jr.
it's-
outdoes himself in a different movie.
I think it's this.
I think it's this
It's
too.
memorable. It's fun. There's that bass line Jake likes a lot. Just the wall rat one where he's going up and there's like the xylophone hit and he comes up on Paris for the first time. Then you
yeah.
got the way the kitchen's running the first time where you learn how a kitchen functions in the basic format that kids can understand.
It is. Yeah.
You got Les Festons, the song that you play a couple times. Yeah, it's so catchy and it's so.
You got
so
Linguini
good.
sounding just like his brother.
I am.
Yeah, just like that.
Am I still fired? He's such when you watch him, the way they animate him is so good.
They don't-
because you know people like that,
They don't have to have a reason for why Remy is.
able to control them.
Yeah, there's no reason for it. It's just there. It's just a thing.
It's just
I am glad they didn't have to explain that.
I think
That
it's
was-
the best one.
it's
Dickie.
great scene after great scene.
It's
it has
paced
logo.
well.
Only-
It's not
listen,
overly long.
I understand all of that, but at the same time, I don't.
I think it's got a really good
I-
dynamic between him and his
I
dad
think
that
the
doesn't
incred-
get used too much, but is there just enough so that decision his dad makes to help him out actually
they-
feels like a genuine, like,
and there's
wholesome
not
moment.
there's
I
not
will
really a villain so much as just an antagonist.
Yeah, well, Skinner is kind of the villain. and
Villain?
He's so
Oh, wait,
funny.
yeah.
Villain, yeah.
That's right. I was thinking about the food critic.
When Ego is the antagonist until the end. When Skinner has to look through the porthole and he gets
Oh,
a
and
step
he
ladder and
stands
he
up.
still has to stand on his tiptoes to look over. Killed me this time.
That is funny.
I've always known it, but just I realized, he has to like really look over. It's funny.
It is really fun.
And,
it is really good. I really love this movie. Honestly, I think The Incredibles and Toy Story 2 are better.
I think it sets out to do a million things and pulls them all off exceptionally to the point of like, wow,
I feel like-
they're putting
thing
more on the table, more on their plate, and they're somehow pulling it all off easily.
They are, and they do all that well. I
I
agree with that, but I think The Incredibles just does it better. Like, and I think The Incredibles has more of an addictive touch because I think the action, like, as much as they're both Brad Bird, so like obviously like they're very close to the same. I just think everything in The Incredibles is a little bit more.
I think The Incredibles is the movie Brad Bird had to make in order to have them let him make Ratatouille.
I actually think he
mean-
took over Ratatouille. You're on my side, but I do think he took over late in pre-production.
And I was gonna
But
say,
he made it better.
fair.
I think whatever they were going for, he made it a Brad Bird.
I
movie
think
better.
it's better. I think it's probably the most underrated of
Yeah, it's got
Pixar
its following
catalog.
now,
Yeah, well,
But
it
for a
definitely has
while, it
its
was just kinda
following-
quiet.
It definitely has its following now because of the huge ride at Disney, and that's
Yep. And
That's a
the
big
references and everything everywhere have made
I
people
mean,
bring
it's
that
in
up.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Cooney.
Yep. Also, if you're talking about action, Ratatouille
Correct.
has plenty of it. He basically takes
I
his
know.
action directing and putting it into those scenes.
It
Him running through
works.
that kitchen, the way it's paced and animated, and the music, like
Yeah,
everything
he makes
Mickey
it-
Mouse thing
He
around
makes
it
an
is
action
so
film
good.
out of kind of an everyday film.
And that's the other thing. It's such a grounded thing for the most part. Like, you have the rats that can communicate, which they don't talk like us, but they can understand us, and the hair pulling thing. Outside of that, it's a pretty grounded thing.
It is, and I really do think like these are like two of the best movies that Pixar has made. For me, just The Incredibles is just a little bit better.
Why?
So, because I just connect with it more.
So it's a preference.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not talking about preferences.
You can't take preferences out of watching movies.
You can do your best.
Oh my god.
You got to give us a reason, though, more than a preference. That's the thing.
Well, that's what I told you.
Don't
everything
hit my
that-
mic.
Everything that Brad
He
Bird
didn't.
did well.
That's
in,
true.
Um,
Incredibles, he did better in
I was
Ratatouille.
going the other way around. Everything he did well in Ratatouille, I really do think his first time around was better. It is also the spy thing. In spy movies are like, again, this is
What is this point?
just saying. Like,
What?
I'm just saying. It's spy.
He's
spy movies for me-
throwing sticky at the wall.
Gotcha. Again, more preference. What is something that's less of a preference?
I will
You would
say,
call better.
Incredibles, I think, is snappier than Ratatouille. But Ratatouille is more intentional in its pace and in its vernacular and in the way the characters interact with each other.
Also, there are 4.
Incredibles, if I remember correctly, is very quippy.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially with, and I really like Jack. I think Jack is one of the coolest things, especially because I like the idea of having a baby that you also have to watch while you're fighting crime. And I know it doesn't, like, he is not that in.
That's
much
more of a factor in the second movie.
I know he's not that much
Yeah.
more in the first
I was gonna
movie,
say,
but I
that's
just like
way more of the
having
second movie.
The idea of a superhero family having a kid.
What he means is he likes the end of Incredibles.
And I also it's just the family stuff for me. The family stuff hits harder in The Incredibles.
I don't know about that. I think it's about the same. Because,
It's different.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think you can boil it down to, I think more people have had problems with their parents than in marriage, because not everyone gets married or has romantic partners. So I think there's a level of relatability more in Ratatouille with that.
But also just the only thing, I mean, this
Plus
I,
that
I
ego-
feel like using
plus
this
the-
as a diss against Ratatouille isn't really fair. But like obviously your main characters. In
Notice he's talking about Incredibles. He doesn't know how hard you're going to push this yet.
Regardless, I was just saying.
Irregardless.
Irregardless, yeah.
You're never going to live that down.
Well, the thing is, I get on a roll, then you say that, then my whole train of thought just.
That means it's working.
Yeah. I know. I think what I said derailed it.
I was gonna say something. Like
I think the best scene in any Pixar movie is Ego eating the Ratatouille. That is the best
In
scene
any
they've ever
scene?
done. They don't have
I
to
don't-
say anything.
Oh, where it goes through his
So
eye,
he-
and then it's just the
Yep,
kid.
he takes a bite and it takes him back to his childhood.
his whole life flashes before his
Yeah,
eyes.
and it reminds him of his mother and when she cooked for him, and the whole reason he loves food.
There is more emotion communicated in that than basically anything.
Yeah.
I will say the only thing I can think of that there's emotion a little bit more is the end of Toy Story 3, but that's also just because that's tugging on everyone's heartstrings.
That one, and again,
We're also
it's
not there yet.
That's
yeah.
not. That's a completely different topic. And
But not to talk about that one. That, and I don't want to say it's emotionally manipulative because there's always a twinge of that in movies. That one feels more of the manipulative thing, whereas the Ratatouille thing feels a lot more relatable. The Toy Story one is from the characters. The Ratatouille thing is from, like, things we feel.
I mean, we feel nostalgia for things that we watched in the past, so that's the feeling.
So that moment of him eating that and reminding him of why he loves food, and the guy has got to be ancient.
Oh yeah.
So going back that far, especially the way the scene looks, it's like, yeah, this is a long time ago. And someone who's long gone, and the way she cooked, like, that's a feeling we all can really relate to.
Oh,
I also
absolutely.
want to state that Ratatouille is one of the few Pixar movies where by the end, the main characters don't get every single thing they want in the state that they want it in.
Oh, yeah, the restaurant closes.
The restaurant closes, and yes, it does remain, or they do open a new one, but it's
smaller.
not what they thought it was going to be.
It just plays out differently. They win, but they don't. Again, they don't get everything.
I will say Violet at the end of Incredibles does not get the boy, so that's also something that she didn't end up getting.
Yes, she did.
And not at the end of Incredible. No, she had.
They literally are going on a date.
Yeah, they literally are going on a date.
They're going on one date, but that's it.
Yeah, that's all that movie gives us. The next movie is different, but you can't factor that into the first one. She literally does get what she wants.
But yeah, it's just a date though. Like she doesn't they don't go out and you don't get to see everything.
You're not supposed to. It's not like a thing she didn't get. She did get that she wanted to go on a date with him, and
so it wasn't. It didn't really.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen because it technically didn't happen that way.
At the very end.
Yes. So what was your point about?
Those two we didn't get to like see them going out, or we didn't get to see them become an actual couple.
I would also.
What is that? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that happens in a lot of things. A lot of people just end up with like they
I'm just wondering what does this factor into?
Well, I'm just saying this is something that The Incredibles did really well. That I think that because you said that everything in you just said they don't get everything they wanted Ratatouille, and she didn't get everything she wanted.
She kind of did.
But we didn't.
But that goes into the second one, and we're not really talking about
that. That's not as much of the movie.
But like, I would not even call her a primary character almost.
Oh, she's absolutely a primary character.
He's the main character. Yeah, it's his movie. Yeah. That first one.
The majority of the plot is, but all four of them are definitely main characters.
Main characters, but not the main character, I think is what he's saying. Oh, and then Ratatouille gives us one of the best things in any movie I've ever seen, and that's that monologue for Ego's review about criticism.
I forgot all about that.
So good. The whole thing about the life of a critic is easy. We can say all this stuff and we don't think about it, and the negative stuff is the most fun. But someone who makes something we don't think much of at all is worth more than any criticism we can ever give. And just that whole thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, that is so good. That is much deeper than anything in this catalog.
It is really good, and I really do love it. I just don't, like I said. I mean, I'll secede because you guys obviously outweigh me, but...
It's great scene after great scene, and it builds, and when you get to that ending, it's just two great moments involving one of their best villains, which ends up not even being a villain, and I love seeing the smile on his face when he's eating that, and at the end when he's saying, "Surprise me!" Which, again, did anyone notice a rat was in the window? I always think about that. And then, of course, his dad gets one of the last lines of, "Oh, that story's better when I tell it." Yeah, I love that movie. I want to watch it again. So, we're putting Ratatouille in the number one spot. Woohoo. That is, we'll have to see how... we have two more Cars movies to talk about, so we'll see what happens.
Cars 2, number 1.
Hey, that's Johnny Boy Jr. on that score, man.
Listen, the score doesn't...
John Williams Part 2.
Johnny Boy,
the new John Williams.
He is.
Here you go. Here's your Oscar for Cars 2.
He should have won.
How did you blow the cars up? Dude, I just did the music. Alrighty. The 9th movie from 2008 is WALL-E. You do it better.
It is WALL-E.
Why did I do that?
You mean let him do that?
WALL-E is one of the most fun voices to do, honestly. He's so cute. And we have an even little thing. Oh, I don't know if he's actually in the shot.
His head got turned around again. I don't know if he's in the shot.
I can't see it from here, but...
I think he is, yeah.
Yeah, because we have a little WALL-E here, and he's the best. I love WALL-E.
His head got turned around again, though, okay. So...
That was one of those movies, I believe I said in the episode, where I loved it when I saw it, and then years later, it's like, for some reason, I just didn't think... I thought it was good, but I just didn't think much more of it. And then this watcher, I was like, this is great.
It's really
This is, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Should we say the most stereotypical thing to say? The very first, opening third of the movie is just the absolute best.
Unlike other movies that will hit, it does have a stronger act than the others, but it's not a huge step down. It stays pretty consistent. I think right up to him getting on the ship before we see humans is really good. Once we see the humans, it's not as good. Maybe it's because it's like halfway through this movie.
Is it halfway in? I couldn't remember.
It's like 40 or 50 minutes into this 98-minute movie, something like that.
I didn't realize that long.
It was something like I said it in the episode probably, but
Yeah.
but I just remember once you get there, it kind of levels. It's kind of like how Up does that too. And once you hit a certain point, it just isn't as good. This one is much better than Up, and Up is still a good movie. This one I think is stronger. It's pretty well paced. It's really fun, and it's got some genuine emotion in there too.
Well, and then just to put a point on that, not that this is any real indication of quality, but it was the first Disney movie to get a Criterion release. I mean, like, there's a reason why they chose that.
Great cover. It's great
It's
cover.
such a cool cover. It is. Yeah,
And for that to be a big enough deal that they announced it
On its own.
Yeah.
This might have been the first Pixar movie that I remember seeing in a theater.
I did see it in the theater.
I never saw it in the theater.
I'm pretty sure, and especially just like the space stuff when you see it on that big screen. Oh man, it hits. It's so beautifully and so well visually done.
One of the reasons why the Best Picture category expanded.
Yeah, that's right.
Because everyone freaked out when WALL-E and The Dark Knight did not get nominated, despite being two of the best critically received movies of the year. Because one's a superhero movie and one's an animated movie for kids.
Dickey?
Did you break the chalk?
Yes, he did.
I did
Tried to
that
do
too.
very subtly and very quickly, but
You tried to
obviously
break
saw.
the chalk really subtly?
I didn't try to break the chalk. I was trying to write the number 9. I'm
But
too
yes.
strong for this weak chalk. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big deal too, and it's that well received and loved that when it doesn't get a Best Picture nomination at the Academy Awards, people freak out. And then the very next year, they have 10 nominees, and Up is one of them. So
Oh, really? I didn't know Up was actually nominated for Best Picture.
I think I brought it up in the episode.
You brought it up.
Yeah, probably did.
So
yeah.
now,
That's the last. Nope. Toy Story 3 is the last animated movie nominated for Best Picture. So it's been 13 years.
so now the big question, where does it go on this?
Oh,
Well, it's better than the
it's-
bottom two,
I was gonna say,
easily.
I think
yeah.
it's better than Monsters.
Well, it is better than... I'm just saying, like, it's easily better than those bottom two. It's better than Monsters.
I'd say it's better than Toy Story
I
1.
say it's better than first Toy Story.
I say it's better than Finding Nemo.
Yep. That might be where I
that
stop.
might be where I'd put it.
I think The
I
Incredibles
think I
is...
agree with
The Incredibles is more consistent.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
I think I agree with that.
So I think it's a pretty easy decision. Wally's going
that's a-
fourth.
Yeah. I like that.
Alrighty. Oh, hey, we're up to 10 now. And the 10th movie for Pixar is Up from 2009.
What's up?
Best Picture nominee. One of two for Pixar. The following year they got another one. Up is another very, very popular movie. I remember seeing it in theaters. Everyone was freaking out about it. And I saw it and I was like, wow, those first 10 minutes were incredible. I like this movie a lot. And then when you get older, you go, wow, those first 10 minutes are incredible. What happened? I think we talked about in the
Yeah.
episode, like, the second they get to Venezuela, the movie just changes, and I don't think it's as good. It's a good movie overall.
Mm-hmm.
And the stuff near the end, like him going through the book, and then the fun of, like, rescuing Russell, and is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think the movie sets itself up to be this big grand adventure in the house, and then we spend most of the movie not in the house. And I think that's what throws me off now.
It does have one of the best scores on this list, though.
Yes, it
Oh
does.
my god.
John Williams Jr.
Johnny
You got J.W. Jr., baby.
Yeah, I think I said like the main melody is something I brought up as when you find something that good, of course you're gonna put it in every bit of that score.
I wanted to know how he, like, what was he doing?
Probably playing the piano.
Well,
Isn't it an oboe?
I mean, it probably is on there, but like the main theme, I bet you he wrote on piano.
I would just be
The
curious.
main theme is the da 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 da
Yeah.
da 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 da.
Okay, yeah.
And I think I said in the episode there was one bit of music that I thought was from the movie, and it's not. And it's when he's waking up, he's going through his daily routine after Ellie has died, and he's going down the stairs. Dun 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 dun. Dun. So for the longest time, I thought, oh, that's from Up. And then when I heard it in something older than Up, like 16 or 17, I go, I guess that's. And I look it up. Oh, that's
No,
way that's way older.
That is such a good scene, though. I love that. I love that.
He
little
stops and just. Again, when does that scene take place?
That's
First half of the movie. That's what I thought.
Definitely the first half.
An example of the first act is the best by far, and the middle act is kind of where it starts to lose. I think they kind of tease this deeper relationship with him and Russell's like a father-son thing.
Yeah.
But then they don't go into it as much.
I wanted them to hit it so much more, and they just because that is the whole reason why the first half hits so hard. Is because you see him and his wife, and then how Russell fills in like that hole, and so like they can do so much with this. You could really.
It becomes the plot overtakes the characters a bit. They introduce the ticking time bomb of the house dropping. It's like, oh, we got to get this up there, and it's fine, it's good. Like I'm not trying to push on it too much.
The second half of the movie does have one of the better Disney Pixar characters introductions, and
Kevin.
I was. Are you about to say Kevin?
Talk about Doug.
Yeah,
I can smell you. You can smell
I'm sorry.
us?
I'm a dog person, and
Oh,
moreover,
no,
moreover, I'm a golden retriever person. So that just
Oh, you don't need to apologize.
that
Doug's
clicks.
great.
I was
That
gonna
clicks
say, dude,
with
I
me.
think we're all. Yeah, I love
So you like to point? Point?
squirrel. Like literally, it's iconic. Oh my god, I love Doug.
And
Get
then
under the porch because
any of the
of
dogs, really though.
Alpha's voice being mixed up.
Yeah.
I like the other voice better. When when he fixes it to the deeper one.
Who did that again? Who played Elf? Trying to scroll forward. In
I didn't write it down.
You did not write it down. Okay.
No.
Because yeah, whoever it was, like it was fun. Like they really had like.
I know. I'm getting. What is it? Something in denture cream. What is it?
Oh, I don't remember the line.
I'm getting something in denture cream. Who are
I
they?
do have a question though. How did he keep the dogs, like that population of dogs, up for that long of a time? Because he went on this adventure when forgetting his name,
Charles Butts.
Charles Munns, but when the kid
Oh, Carl.
Carl was a kid,
That's right.
Yeah.
and he has this massive amount of dogs.
Jake, I'm going to introduce you to a new word that you already know. Breeding.
He keeps the dogs going.
But like how?
What? Well,
when
You
a
can't
boy and a
inbreed
girl-
dogs.
I didn't say inbreed. Maybe he brought a lot with him, and they.
I guess.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a giant like Isle of Dogs type thing on the world, and they keep.
Yeah, there are wild dogs in Venezuela. But actually, there could be.
Well, it's also not exactly our world, but who knows?
That's true. I mean, it's kind of supposed to be.
It's kind of supposed to be.
I think it
but
straight up
it's-
is.
I think they take like a couple of liberties here or there, like a little bit.
Well, yes, but it's still basically our world.
I know, but if they take liberties someplace, they can take us other places. Like I don't know.
They're literally going to Venezuela. It's literally a real country.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
What?
Wait, in Venezuela is a real
Irregardless.
place?
Irregardless. Yeah, I think the scene around the campfire when he like says like, when he's talking about how he doesn't see his dad much, and then he says Phyllis, he goes, Phyllis, you call your own mother by her first name? Phyllis isn't my mom. And there's this moment where you see Carl's face change, and he empathizes with him. And I go, that's good. Can we have more of that, please?
No.
No. we have to chase Kevin.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, when he lights the house on fire to get Carl to run over to save it, and Russell gets mad, I remember thinking like, well, that's what I do.
Yeah.
That's all their food's in there. That's like, what? Of course I'm going to do that.
Kind of important.
It's a bird. It's a bird.
It's a bird.
Bird.
Very famous bird.
Bird the word.
Like, Kevin's great. I'm just saying, the guy sets my floating house on fire. Of course I'm going to go save the house.
It's kind of important, especially if it's a house.
I mean, Up was important enough for them to make a whole underwhelming Lego set about it.
Oh yeah, with the balloons, but there's like 10 of them, right?
I never had that.
No, like they just recently made it.
Oh, just recently? Oh,
It's very underwhelming. It's like half a house. It's very.
Oh, that's fair. Well, just curious. Now we gotta ask the question: where does
Yeah,
it?
it's better than Cars and Bugs Life.
I think so.
It's better than.
It's
Monsters.
better. I think it's better than Monsters Incorporated. I think that's where I stop.
You don't think it's better than Toy Story
I
1?
don't think so. I think Toy Story's more consistent.
I agree.
Up's got the deeper part, but it
Toy
it
Story.
kind of the movie changes, whereas Toy Story is much more consistent.
I guess in my heart of hearts, I want to put the first 8 minutes at number 2.
The first 8 minutes is literally that good, but
if
like you
was,
can't.
if it was a short film, it'd be one of the best short films. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not, that's the other thing. Like they kind of crafted the movie around those first 10 minutes or so. It
Like,
feels like
I'm so curious, and not to just derail a little bit. Like how did they come up with like this story? Because like you're right, it did feel like the first 8 minutes is just like what they made everything else for. Like just do that your first 8 minutes and call it. Just cut it off.
I think I just draw the line at that before it doesn't surpass that first Toy Story. I think that's about as high as it goes.
Yeah.
Is that about good?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. We got the top 10.
You say, well, how'd they come up with that story? It's very simple. You had someone that experienced loss that then said, what's the most fantastical way that someone could escape this in a story? And that's what they came up with.
That's a good point.
You know, that's a really good point.
He did it. It only took 10 movie discussions.
Part of me thinks Dickey put up this low and sided with me right away so he wouldn't have to erase more.
No, I definitely agree. And there's no way it's better than
Yeah.
That's a short one.
Yeah. The 11th movie is Toy Story 3. It came out in 2010, considered the end of Pixar's first golden age. I said that probably 20 times in that episode, that hour-long episode. And I think all of us agreed that this was much better the first time we watched it. Because coming to it now, years later, it's not that great. It's got a lot of good things, but it comes down to the last, 5-10 minutes are the movie. It's the inverse of Up.
I think didn't I say that, or didn't one of us say that?
I think we did. But it's also the stuff that isn't the great part of it is much weaker than Up.
That is fair, yeah. It just sucks because every time I think of this movie, I think of
The great part of it is weaker than Up?
No, the great part, the stuff other than the great part. So
Okay.
everything before the great part is weaker than everything.
We're married to the first 8 minutes of Up, and we're married to the last 15 minutes of Toy Story 3.
Yeah, basically.
It's kind of funny how they made those movies. Oh, it's not
back to
No,
back.
it's back to back. Yeah, yeah.
I think the animation for Toy Story 3 is a step down from even Cars.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's the animation. I think it's the camera work.
That's right.
It looks great. It is very
The textures
dull. Not the look, the way it's done.
There's not camera movement. It's like they walk onto PNGs.
Yeah.
And just stand there and walk off.
I just thought of a perfect example for that. Is that the first Toy Story? Do you know what scene I always remember?
Is it the chair?
Is that
When
where
he
they put
launches Woody at the beginning during the song and the camera's in his POV flying through the air?
and they do the loop-de-loop in the thing?
Or like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think of. And that's fun. That's dynamic.
There's none of that
There's none
in
of
Toy Story
that.
3.
You're right.
Animation should take advantage of the fact that we can put the camera anywhere we want.
Mm-hmm.
The Incredibles has shots like that. Ratatouille, him running under everything is great.
God.
Toy Story 2 and Buzz is trying to fly through the sliding doors.
Also, let's not
one
forget that this is the third time they did the reset Buzz thing or the double Buzz thing.
Yeah.
The factory setting Buzz.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you brought up how the Spanish Buzz is probably, if not already not aged well, is probably going to age even worse.
Yeah.
Kind of a stereotype.
Yeah.
It was funny in 2010 when I was 16.
I was gonna say back when.
And then now it's I don't think this is egregious, but also
It's just kind of.
I'm not the one to judge this fully. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't have that perspective. Yeah, it's just kind of there are good things, but
Lotso is like a.
it's the same thing as the second movie.
Yeah.
It's almost the same movie. It's just it's the Great Escape instead of Toy Story 2's main story. Like it's literally they're dealing with that, and then you got a twist villain that uses something as a cane, who's mad because he wasn't loved, and it's the same thing, and it's just not done as well. And I like Ned Beatty a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's
but
really
it's
good.
the same thing. And then they, not to go ahead to 4, but then 4 actually does something different and makes this one kind of pointless, except for the end.
It really did. I do agree.
Like, especially and on this rewatch for 4, because I didn't see it, it's like, yeah, that third one is just kind of, it's like layover at the airport. We're just kind of waiting for the next one now.
It feels like a filler episode almost.
Yeah. Well, now that there's a 5th one announced, it's like you're going to watch this, and this is the layover. You have 2 great, and then the 4th one is really good, and then you have that one in the middle, because who knows what 5 will be. But whatever 5 is, this is like the middle.
That's a really good point. Yeah,
and this is the longest one so far, too, so it's like, yeah, this is the layover at, what's the Chicago airport? Is it O'Hare?
O'Hare, yeah. Or Atlanta, because everything goes
Because
through
what's
Atlanta.
the best part about layover? The last 20 minutes when you're actually doing something and getting onto the plane.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be too mean on Toy Story 3, because for years I thought it was the best or the second best. Like, I loved it. And then over the last 6-7 years it started to drop, and then this rewatch, it's like, yeah, this isn't that great. And it's funny because people love this one, and it's because they're left with a really strong ending.
Honestly, like I went through the same thing that you did. Like, I think for a minute this was my number 1. Like, I like this the most, even more than Toy Story 2, for like a second, and then I'm like, no, it's dropping, and then I disagree. It's crazy that it dropped that far.
It's because it is emotional manipulation. It's really good emotional manipulation.
It didn't really feel. I didn't really think about it like that until you said that, and now I can't get that out of my head.
Because what is the emotional part about that ending? It's playing on the nostalgia we all have for either the movies, like we have more nostalgia than he does because we liked them better.
Oh yeah.
Or just the whole thought of like that growing up thing. It's playing off your nostalgia, and it's doing a very good job.
Yeah,
because it gets us, and it still gets me emotional.
Yeah.
And I hate that it does, but sometimes emotional manipulation is good and works well, but when you realize this is way more manipulative than you might think.
Also, I don't remember, did you ever say if you cried at this one yet? No? Okay.
I at least teared up.
You teared up?
At least the first time I watched it.
The first time first time and every time after.
Well, and it's executed very well, the ending. Like, they know how to do it.
They know what they're doing. Yeah.
And it doesn't feel cheap. It feels earned. This is, we got to the end of 3 whole movies, and we're saying goodbye to, like, one of the primary parts of them. Like, it works. Just that part.
Yeah. But I guess, now we have to place it amongst the top 10.
Well, it is better than Cars.
Yeah.
That might be where I stop.
You don't think it's better than Bugs?
I think A Bug's Life is more, we get back to the consistency thing. It's not a carbon copy. I think it exists on its own.
To be fair,
it's not as emotional, but again, it's the one big emotional part.
To be fair, if I were to go any higher than that, I'd stop at Monsters. So
I think I'm and not just because I don't have to write a lot, but I think I am also on board with
I
it.
think that's
especially when you said consistency, and I think
who are you agreeing with?
You.
Oh,
we're agreeing.
You're agreeing?
We're all agreeing.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying you'd put it above Bugs.
I said even if I were to, I'd only put it in the 8th spot.
But I just think that more of Bug's Life is better than the majority.
It's definitely more imaginative.
It is, yeah.
All considering that, we're talking about a movie about living toys, but when you've done it a third time,
and the way they use the environments in Bug's Life more than
yeah.
I think we're putting it at the 10. I'd put it at the 10 spot right now.
Number 10.
It won't be. There will be more movies that are worse than it. I don't know how many, but there are worse movies than Toy Story 3. That's probably the biggest flack we'd get from like a big Pixar head, because people love this movie. Why did you write 2?
I don't know.
Why are you erasing?
I don't know. I started erasing too
What
far.
are you doing?
Why did you? Okay. You wrote Toy Story 2, but then you wrote Toy 1. What is the consistency of this? What are
There is
you
no
doing?
consistency. There is none. Dickey goes in spot number 27 for no consistency.
Yeah, I do think this is the one we get flack for, though.
This is the one?
One
You
of
really
them.
think so?
Yeah. Oh, people love this one. When I look at like Letterboxd lists, people put Toy Story 3 like top 5, top 10 all the time, and it's in the top 10 right now for us. But we've got a lot more to go.
Yeah. All right, so we made it to the next movie that came out after Toy Story 3, which, in case you don't remember that, it's in fact Cars 2.
I don't think I want to talk about it again. Can we just put it at number 12 and move
Yeah,
on?
let's put it in number
Are we
12.
just gonna decide? Okay. I might
Like
start-
a good neighbor, Mater is there.
Why does the Pope Mobile have a Pope Mobile?
Are you going to bring up the thing? That means someone tried to kill the Pope Mobile?
And what would it take to kill the Pope Mobile?
Wait, is the Pope Mobile or Pope Mobile?
No, the Pope is Pope Mobile. And the
Okay.
Pope Mobile.
Is to protect the Pope Mobile.
Yes.
So someone tried to assassinate the Pope Mobile, hence why you need the Pope Mobile.
Yes.
My brain hurts.
So if you put
But what would
if you put one of those spinny things inside the Pope Mobile, there's a mobile in the Pope Mobile inside the Pope Mobile.
Oh my
Yep.
god.
Mobile.
If you say Pope Mobile one more time.
And
Pope-mobile.
guess where they made all those parts, the cars. Mobile, Alabama. Mississippi. Where is it?
Stuck inside a mobile.
It's mobile.
With the Memphis Blues.
Yeah, but I think it is
again.
Alabama, in fact, actually. I don't think it's Mississippi.
Okay, I was right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, did I say the wrong one?
Oh my gosh.
Because it can't be Mississippi. That's Jackson. Like the guy he races in the third one.
There you go. Yeah.
He eats cars.
Cars. There's no question here. Shall we move on from Cars 2? Is there anything else you...
It's probably going to be the worst one. What do you say, Jake?
I don't think it's the worst one.
I think it's the worst one.
I think you might be right.
I don't think there's one more painful than this.
I think you're... I'm looking down the... I'm doing...
It's going to be close, but I think you might be right.
Yeah.
I think it's the worst one.
I think so. It's pretty evident that Mater...
There's almost nothing redeeming in this.
Who thought Larry the Cable Guy should be the main character? Who thought that would be a good idea?
Toys.
Toys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 559 million.
Merchandising.
Yeah.
I just edited one of these episodes today, and we yelled at you for making that joke. So I have to yell at you now. Don't make that stupid joke. You don't even like that.
I know.
I know. Oh my god. Well, if there's nothing else to talk about that one, we are on
To one that's not much better.
Woo!
better.
Not,
Very
I
forgettable.
just said not a bit better.
Anyway.
Another
Anyway.
example of first act is good.
Uh-huh.
Rest of movie is not. What is it, Dickie?
But-
It is Beret
From
which
But
came
that
out
hair
in
animation, my guy.
oh, yeah.
2012. Yes, that is the best.
I wish other things had that level of detail.
And that trailer, my guy.
I don't know if I remember that. That's the other thing is I'm trying to remember because this is the 13th one. I'm trying to remember when we recorded this because it's not memorable at all.
We
Like,
recorded this back in November. This is
remember-
April right now, people, and this is November.
Yes.
So it's been like 6 months since
But
we
the
watched
thing
it.
is, like, I've watched. I mean, granted, I haven't watched this as much as other Pixar, obviously.
And why is that? No, tell me. Riddle me this.
One, I never owned it, and two,
Why didn't you own it?
Because it's not that good.
No!
So yeah,
There's so many things that are just fumbled.
yeah.
They're there. I think that's what's frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to Toy Story. Oh, okay, so just as a segue into this, I would put it above Toy Story 3 for sure. Because there's stuff there.
I wouldn't put it above Toy Story 3.
Don't think I could put it. Above
I think Toy Story 3 at least is passable for the rest of the movie. This fumbles it hard.
So for me, this the way that I feel like this.
It starts better.
Yeah, this one goes a little bit more evenly, but Toy Story 3 just has higher.
Oh no, this plummets. Because remember I said Brenda Chapman was directing,
Oh,
first
the
Pixar
whole-
female
the
director,
directing thing.
and then Mark Andrews. Yes, make the tight end joke all you want. Took over creative differences, and it's like okay, yeah, because after the first act, the movie is not good anymore. Because at least Toy Story 3 stuff happens in this movie. She leaves the castle, and then she goes back. and then they leave the castle. And then they go back, and then they leave the castle one more time.
It's like Moana on an island.
Yep, they crush
my
more
God.
with a rock, and then they go back to the castle. That is the whole movie.
Yeah, it's not.
And then we go out and back in. And then sometimes we want to do it 4 times or 3 times. Finding Nemo
I was gonna
predicted,
say,
brave.
Look at you go. Yeah, honestly, I agree. I think it's
There are so many more interesting things it can do, and I think that's what frustrates me more than Toy Story 3. Because Toy Story 3 is just a carbon copy. Brave actually has the potential to be better, and it doesn't do anything.
It's the one thing I will give Brave is I think it's a little more creative.
Oh yeah, because it's an original idea as opposed to a third movie.
Yeah, like
It
that's
also-
about the only credit that I'll give it.
It also does this thing where it's supposed to be about fixing the gap between her and her mother, not only with the thingy, like stitching that up, but their relationship. That is good.
Yeah.
When did their relationship get better? After they went fishing?
I mean,
She's
that
a
is
bear.
generally when that happens.
Yeah.
I wish my father took me fishing.
Oh
No, you don't.
Yeah, fishing's kind of boring, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Then what point are you trying to make?
So are we in agreement? It's
Yeah, well,
going at number.
I'm just saying. I just want to get it off my chest.
Go for it.
You just watch it, and it's like that's such a big deal, and they don't do anything. And the more do thing doesn't really work. I think we brought up in the episode, like, there are so many things where you can make it, you don't know Mordu was that prince.
Mm-hmm.
Because when that ghost, like, thanks them by nodding, which Jake missed the first time.
Oh, yeah.
The whole ghost scene was
It's
weird to me.
nothing.
It didn't.
It's there's nothing there.
It didn't.
And it
jive.
feels like there's supposed to be more of a story here, but it doesn't mesh well. It's just, it becomes a nothing movie. And it's a shame because she's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
Her shooting for her own hand is great. That shot where she fires the arrow in slow motion is great, and then the rest of the movie is very bland. It's like the Toy Story 3 things. Like, the only things they do are still, or they just swing once or twice.
Yeah.
And again, that's where you can see probably where Brenda Chapman left the project. So that's what. Again, we weren't there. We don't know. But it's when you have 2 directors and one wasn't there. Neither one was there the whole time, and you see a clear switch.
There's usually something behind that.
Yeah. So yeah, I would put it right now at 11, just above Cars 2. It's pretty low on
Do you
my
think-
personal ranking.
Wait, so yeah, it's better, but not better than the first Cars. Is that where or is it better than the first Cars? No.
At least that's a complete story in its own right for how.
So what
Yeah.
he's saying is Cars 2 would be 13
Mm.
and Brave
Or
would be 12.
Yeah, I can't see the bottom 2.
I didn't realize you couldn't see that.
That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
can you
You
erase
might,
those and rewrite them by any chance? I know, but
well, I'll do that when we switch. Okay. Is that?
or
so-
the next time there's a big movement.
Yeah, so put it gets cut off for me at Bug's Life. So if you want to move 10 to where Cars 2 is.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Okay, I can do that.
The best non-Toy Story sequel.
Yes.
Monsters University. Not great, but much better on a second watch for me.
Especially after watching Brave.
Yeah.
It is one of the best sequels.
They
I
have.
think that
I think
how many sequels do
only
they have, actually?
only Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 4 are the better sequels than this. Like, it exists on its own. It doesn't reference that first one too much. It could easily spend its whole runtime retracing its steps and referencing back. Oh wait, that's Finding Dory. But we're not there
Ooh,
yet.
Shots fired. I'm just gonna draw some Mario movie. Yeah, no, you. Wait, what did you say? What did you say? What did you?
I didn't say, he did. Nothing. Anyway, Monsters University. That first time you watch it, you're like, yeah, it's decent. And then that second time, I was like, no, there's a really good story in here. The whole, like, sometimes your dreams just don't happen, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very relatable thing. I think that's much stronger than a lot of their recent output is.
I actually sort of think that the villain in it is more memorable than the villain in the first one.
Johnny?
Who?
Isn't that his name? Yeah. Johnny's a villain.
Johnny?
Yeah, isn't that,
I was going to say the Dean.
not really the villain.
Okay.
Well, I also
Johnny
like that
Johnny would be the other what are those called?
Antagonist.
the frat bros.
Thank you, frat. I could not think
Yeah.
of the fraternity brother leader of the big popular
Oh,
fraternity.
no, I guess I was thinking about the big overarching, like,
Yeah.
I do like her a lot. She is really cool in this.
she is in my head what the spider guy was in the first movie.
That's fair.
Water News.
Yes.
Except she's not breaking the law. But
Is there any? I mean, do they break the law in this? I feel like they break the law plenty of times.
yeah, they go into the human world with an experimental door.
Yeah.
What did she say? Like, I got expelled. You're like, you're lucky you didn't get in worse trouble, or if, or worse, you get hurt.
Yeah.
It gave us one of their best like serious scenes by the lake there.
That is such a good scene.
It's so
between Lane and
good.
Sully. I
So-
just love.
I myself am not a competitive person. Didn't really connect with it, but that's a preference thing.
The games portion you're talking about, which is
Yes.
the bulk of the movie.
Yes. So I for me, I didn't connect with it. I will recognize that it is good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Movie's a bit long because
It's
of it, but
interesting to see Sully be so different of a character too. Like he's not the same character, just younger.
like there's an actual learning curve you can see that happens
Between
from
the two
this to
movies,
this. Yeah.
even yeah.
Yeah.
He's matured because makes sense. He's arrogant because he does it so naturally, but they prove that because he's not putting the work in, there's only so far he can go, and it proves that they do need each other as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we get to see their chemistry starting to form. Like you get to see the Mike and Sully that we know, and then, it's always fun to like just look back and see like what they looked like in like old school and college. And,
And the score is really fun.
And
oh
it-
my
and
god,
it-
I love that like the band beat that you get going
Yeah.
there. It's
And I do know it's cliche, but it's fun to think about Randall as Mike's.
Old dorm
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Oh, that moment when he opens the door, we're all waiting for Sully, and it's
Yep.
Randall.
That
And you go,
was such a good. I
This movie has timing down really well.
it does. And that's go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say really quick. Looking back, I should have seen the Randall thing coming. Like that makes. But like I'm like, what the heck? It's not Mike. I was thrown. They really got me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the timing's down too, not only because it's a prequel. We've done this world before. John Goodman and Billy Crystal are just so good at acting and voicing these characters that they got this down,
Well,
and they
also-
know how to craft the movie around that.
Also, you saying about them talking, they didn't necessarily age down their voices when they could have.
No,
And
you could tell they were a little older, but
And that's the thing.
That's
It's like
fine.
who cares? Because you can look right past that because they are that good. And that's another like,
yeah.
just.
Plus, it made me finish Monsters at Work on
Oh my
Disney
God,
Plus.
Here we go.
Season 2.
Season 2. Season 2. I like
think
Monsters
anybody
at
else
Work
actually-
better than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You'd still take a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi if they give it to you.
Yeah, because maybe one day it will be as good as Monsters at Work.
Do you think anybody else watches Monsters at Work, or is it just you?
Me and probably a bunch of 6-year-olds. I watched it for research purposes. And then 6 episodes later, in one sitting, I go, what am I doing? I wasted a whole day watching Monsters at Work.
How is that a whole day?
I woke up very late that day. And then, of course, this one
6
comes
hours
around.
at half an hour a piece is at max 3 hours.
I probably ate something in the middle there.
Fair.
And then we watched this one, and I watched the rest of the season. It's like, well, I might as well.
So are you telling me that this is the real MCU, the Monsters cinematic universe, not the Marvel?
Yeah.
It's Monsters.
I would prefer the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Or did I say Marvels? I meant Monster.
Thank you. You gonna watch Monsters at Work?
No.
Uh-oh.
I
Okay,
don't
so
have
where
3
do you think-
hours to waste.
So where do you think you want to rank this?
Well, it's better than those bottom 3.
Yep.
I think it's better. I
than-
think it's better.
than Toy Story 3.
better than.
Wait.
Oh, he's got it. Why didn't you
He's
erase?
got
Oh, I
it
didn't
there twice.
Erase 10 and 11 on the left side there, pal.
What is...
Sorry, I forgot to erase it on this side. Yeah.
that was
That's really-
confusing.
I'm like,
I was
wait,
so
wait.
confused.
I was
Like-
really thrown off there for a minute.
There's
my
another
bad.
car. I think I might say it's better than Bug's Life.
Yeah,
I'm liking it more than I think about it. I think in my personal ranking
is
it was
it-
lower,
I
but I
think
think
you're
it
right,
might be
yeah.
better.
Is it better than Monsters?
Oh no!
I don't think so.
No, it's not better than the first one.
Okay.
But I'm fine with it being right next to it. It can't
Yeah.
exist without that first one. It's like you know what I mean? It's one of those, it can't be good without the first one already being good. So I think it goes, right there at number 9.
Number 9. I like that. That's a good one.
So we're from the Midwest, which means we like emo. And guess what emo is short for? Emotional. Just like this movie, Inside Out.
Our hair
That was
is
beautifully
not
done.
Thank you.
Our hair is not covering enough of our eyes to consider ourselves
Oh yeah,
emo.
can
I can
should
take
like,
my,
put my hair,
if I
like,
take my hair tie
think-
off,
I think
I
if
can.
I do this, is it email?
No.
Okay.
It's like early 90s punk.
Billy Joe Headstrong over there.
There you go.
Except his hair
This
was
is
always-
not where you belong, though. I really trapped him in a corner there. Because what? He is in a corner. And, yeah, whatever.
I know what
Inside
to say
Out.
to that.
Inside Out.
Yes.
Came out in 2015, the first of their 2. And a lot of people love this one. And it is a good movie. I don't think me and Jake are that fond of it. And I like it. People lose their minds over it.
I was definitely one of the people that really loved it when it first came out. I've watched it 2 or 3 times since I've owned it physically, and it's like, it just kind of doesn't hit the same.
It has, and I'm not gonna relate it.
How about this? What's your favorite moment of the whole movie?
That's what I was gonna go for.
Wait, what's your favorite moment? I want to see how this
My
works.
favorite moment is the moment where it's probably when Riley is remembering her like hockey team and she gets really sad at the
Where
end.
does that happen? When they're looking at that
That's-
memory.
That's at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah, where are they?
They're in the brain.
Yeah, they're in HQ.
Yeah.
It's almost like
No.
The whole movie should have been in HQ.
The only thing is, I love that idea.
or
I just-
different people's HQ, like jumped in between
Yeah,
people. That would have been
that-
fun
You know,
and chaotic.
because they did that for like 2 minutes in there. I kind of wonder because there is going to be a sequel, so I kind of wonder if that's what they do in the sequel. But that would have been cool to have in this.
Oh, if they leave the
honestly. brain.
if they go into someone else's head, I'm going to puke. I said it right here. It's April 2023 when we're recording this. And if Inside Out 2 has Joy and someone else or all of them basically jump out of like a brain dead Riley into someone else's head and interact with someone else's emotions, I'm going to jump off my roof. My
think
roof
they're
is
gonna-
You
gonna
I
won't
don't-
die.
There's no way they're gonna jump out of there. That would.
See, they're going to come up with something stupid probably.
It's just going to be Riley through puberty, I think.
Which there's so much to mind there. That can be a.
What I
really,
meant is just the story jumping between different people's emotions.
Oh, I know what you. I'm saying like that's cool. It's Pixar. They don't do cool.
Yes, they do. They've done cool.
Yeah, Lightyear was cool.
I'm not saying their more recent ones are good, but I know they have the magic in there somewhere. It's Disney, so one can hope.
One
But
thing
this
that
one.
one thing that it was in our Turning Red episode that our guest Alita brought up was how she connects to Inside Out a lot because she moved multiple states and she connects to that part of it, which I don't think any of us have ever moved multiple states.
No.
So there's that part of it that it's like, yeah, I can recognize where there's something really good here that is relatable that just we don't feel. And I think the movie, for the most part, does a good job of connecting with its audience. I just think it's going the by the book stuff journey through the head is just kind of
Wait, Jared.
Whatever.
Are you telling me you didn't cry when Bing Bong got left?
Bing bong. Sing the song for us, Jared. Sing the song for us.
Who's your friend that likes to play Bing Bong, Bing Bong?
What did I say? I'll say it again. He's fading, his Mr. Stark I don't feel good moment.
Yeah.
Take Riley to the moon for me. I love you, Richard Kind. But it's actually a good little emotional part. And she looks down. She goes, "Oh no," because she realizes he's not with her. And I remember thinking like, this is an actual good moment. And then she goes, "Bing bong." And I lose it every time. It's like you can't say "bing bong" at a sad moment. Sorry.
Yeah.
I laughed in the theater and I tried not to be that jerk, and my friend looked like, "What are you doing?" I'm sorry. Just Bing bong.
How many of these movies has Richard Kind been in?
Not enough.
It's never
Definitely
enough.
Cars 1 and definitely this.
He's in Bug's Life. He's Hopper's brother.
That's right.
Remember his thing
Is that it?
Shutting up. That I can think of off the top of my head.
I don't know if I can remember any of
I can't picture his voice anywhere. That's a weird sentence.
Picture his voice. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where to put it because I'm also thinking about, now that I've opened the floodgates for emotional manipulation, this is kind of
Literally that.
kind of,
But that's
not
kind of the point.
really though, because
It's a story it's a story about
it plays on better emotions than Toy Story 3 does.
yes.
well, it
So
still
I'll say
plays
that.
off emotions based more on the character than the audience, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
Toy Story 3, it's nostalgia based. This
It
is
is.
actually like more relatable for a story standpoint.
The idea of learning how to mix emotions is really like that. No memory is really one emotion or another. That it's a mixture of them is a really relatable message. And I can't fault the movie for its message. I do fault the movie for its
Story structure.
How-
yes.
Yeah.
It
How got
also has J.W. Jr. doing one of the
there. Yeah,
second.
boy.
Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop, boop. That's the score. It's a good score. I'm just saying.
I'm
like,
trying to
that's what
think if I
sounds
like it better than Ups. It's close.
I think
It's
ooh.
close. I like them both quite a bit.
I might say Up is more. That is close.
It's more memorable.
Yeah.
But that's because Up is built around one melody, whereas
Oh, that's right.
I don't
'cause
think Inside Out does that as much.
Bum, ba-da-da-da, bum, ba-da-da-da,
Oh, that's right.
da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da.
Now I remember.
You said once you started, I'm like, it's it is really good. But yeah,
Welcome to We Fit Plus. That's what it feels like. Hey, We Fit's fun.
So it's better than Cars 2.
Yeah.
It's better than Brave.
Yep.
It's
better than Cars.
Yeah.
Better than Toy Story 3.
Better than Bugs Life.
Better than Bugs Life, I would
Yeah.
say.
Better than Monsters University.
I don't think so.
I would.
I am so.
I think MU's more consistent.
I think I might.
That's a hard argument.
That's so. That is the line. Right there.
My heart wants to put it right below Up.
You think it's better than Monsters Inc?
I like it better than Monsters Inc. That's the problem. I can't decide if I actually think it's better than Monsters Inc. or if I just like it better than Monsters
I'm
Inc.
personally stuck on if I like this or Monsters University more. Like that's right on.
I like it better than Monsters University. I relate to it more. I laugh more at it.
I do relate to this more than I relate to Monsters University.
But again, that's a preference sort of thing.
Yeah. I'm just
But
thinking a lot of these lists come down to consistency, I feel like.
But I feel like the height of the good part of Inside Out is better than the height of Monsters University.
It's a louder movie, too. I think that's why.
Which?
Inside Out. I think it's going for the big emotional moments where
it has
Monsters U is a lot quieter, so it's hard to compare
it
some
has
of
this,
these.
Yeah.
like it has its quiet moments, but I think it has this. No, but they both have really strong messages.
That's the thing. One they're both very relatable things.
They are.
I feel like, for my preferences, like Inside Out's whole thing about mixing emotions and learning to deal with them is good. I think I attach more to the Monsters University one because it is kind of this is a relatable thing, and it's telling you, hey, it's okay. It's kind of like giving you that comfort as well. Not that Inside Out doesn't. Just that's what I get from it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
It's kind
You're
of it's
also a more competitive person, so you
Yeah.
engage with the sport part of it more.
yeah. And again, like I said, that it's a preference thing. But
I
the
think-
second watch, I paid more attention to the non-games part of it because that's what you pay attention to the first time mostly, and I just connected to it a lot better second time.
I think I'm gonna put Monsters University above it.
Okay.
All right, so we're putting it
So it's at number 10.
10.
All right.
We can
Yeah,
leave it.
Dickey only has to rewrite 5 names.
Woo!
Poor Jared had to do this 43 times.
41. Because Bad Guys and Puss in Boots weren't out yet. But then I had to rewrite all of them when we ranked those later.
Well, really only 40 because you only had to write Spirit Untamed once.
Oh, yeah, I wrote it. I'm like, okay, I'm putting it here. Now we're at the other 2015 Pixar movie, The Good Dinosaur, the 16th movie in the catalog. And if you watch the episode, you know, like we really have tried to say, like, this might be lower on the list, but it is not the worst one like some people say. It is better than Cars 2 and Brave.
That's pretty easy to say. Those are like...
That's at least that's what I think.
I completely agree, though. Its mediocrity is good enough that it beats out the horribleness of stuff like Cars.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. I think we got it all out of our system pretty much last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
The most
think
striking thing to say about it is the backgrounds are fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going? Oh, okay. It is really beautiful, and I wish I could have seen it in the theater.
Yeah, what did that one YouTuber said? Like this movie feels like a test for the backgrounds, just so we can use it later, type thing. Because they do look really good.
They do definitely. Yeah, I do feel like this was when we started noticing the big, like, I know there's been jumps in animation like throughout all of the movies, but I feel like this was a drastic jump. But so how high is this getting?
I don't think I put it higher than the first Cars.
I was going to go one higher, but I'll secede to that.
Yeah,
Just because I don't think I'm going to be able to win that argument.
I think it's more of I think the Cars story is better than the Good Dinosaur story, but it's not like it's drastically worse or better in each case. They're kind of both in this range. The hate this thing gets is still baffling to me. It's like, and you said it in the episode, it's got to be, it came after Inside Out. Same year.
After such a big hitter, like it's just... It was stacked against it from the beginning.
Yeah, we're agreeing to put it at 14 then.
I like that, absolutely.
Yep.
Gonna have some brave heads get mad at us.
How many of those can there possibly be?
Well, enough to come at us with that first act argument, and then the second say, what about the rest of the movie? And then they clam right up.
Unless they actually like the rest of the movie.
Well, then they don't have to say anything. We can just laugh at them.
It's fair. Next is Finding Nemo Remastered.
Wah-hoo-wah-hee-oh.
The 17th movie in Pixar's catalog came out in 2016.
Yes. Finding Dory.
We're going to just say it, the short version. It's the same movie, but worse.
Ellen is... Especially after all the stuff that came out about Ellen and the way that she holds that stuff, and now this, it's just kind of...
Yeah.
It sinks. It definitely...
Yeah, and the only character that has an arc is Hank, the octopus.
I love it.
I like Hank.
I do too.
You say Hank, so should we bring up the family, what's the show? Modern Family Reunion.
Oh, yeah. Do they even share any scenes?
Yeah.
They do?
Well, no. I was gonna say, you're right. They don't share scenes.
You're talking Ty Burrell, right?
Yeah, but they're both in the movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. I think we said, like, why are they doing the whale talk in the pipes? Can't they just hear each other normally in the pipes? Sorry. Shut up.
Yeah, so the first time I watched this movie, I remember laughing so much more than Finding Nemo. On this second watch, I hardly laughed at all.
You think it's a thing of when you watch that second one, you're like, I want this. It's like in your mind, you gear yourself to like it better because everyone loves the first one and you're sick of it. And so you laugh hard because it's like, see, this is better. And then years later, you're like, what was I thinking? Because I've done that plenty of times.
I sort of think it's like, on face value, Ellen's jokes are funny-ish enough to chuckle. But then you start thinking about what she's saying. And, like, it's like what you say. Like, you watch it the first time, you don't really pay attention to the story structure. You watch it the second time, that stuff becomes very, very clear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, that's right. Because I feel like the first time I rewatch this, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is not that good. It does not hold up on
and they have opportunities to give characters arcs, but Marlon regresses
Yeah.
a little bit.
He does.
Because
yeah.
he doesn't
like,
really have
and-
a place in the... him and Nemo don't really have a place in the
Yeah,
story.
I don't know why they...
Are there?
Yeah.
It's because they're famous faces. Honestly, well, it's because they're the main characters in the
Yep.
first one, so you almost have to have them in the second one. I'd say why did they even make this? But because crap load of money.
And that moment where he like yelled because Nemo's freaking out and Dory's being overbearing as she is. It's just her character type, and then he just says, "Dory, why don't you just forget about it? You're good at that." And I remember thinking like they're trying to create this conflict between them for why they separate, but the separation is an accident. Like she goes off and then just gets something happens, and also it's like this is really the central conflict between them is just he's upset in the moment, and she like that. This doesn't get resolved. It just happens. So kind of with the movie, the things just kind of happen. Because even Nemo brings up, does this mean Dory's gonna move away if she finds her parents? And he's like, yeah, I think so. And then it never gets brought up again. And everyone lives happily ever after at the end. And it's like, that's fine. Just there's nothing there.
It would have been a lot more powerful if they were both like happy living on their own and they showed
Or
like,
something.
That would have been such a more interesting ending. And
also how about showing your parents in flashbacks so much that it's like the reunion does not feel like much.
I only needed the one where she got sucked away. If I had the one where she got sucked away, so I understood what they looked like.
Yeah. Or don't even show them. Show like them blurred again. I think I mentioned that earlier here. Just you don't quite see them because she can't remember because it's what's the first thing you forget about people? Your head, it's their face. And then of course the other thing that we brought up in the episode of like her short-term memory loss is treated as a joke and something to like beat, and it shouldn't be. It should be something you embrace and learn to live with.
They could, and they could.
But they make jokes the whole time.
Yeah,
it's the same joke the whole movie.
It's the same.
It works in the first movie because I think it's more of she just forgets something that's happened.
She's also not a primary. Well,
yeah,
she's not the main character.
And then this one, it's kind of like it's like she forgets. It's like, how could you forget? It's like, are we going to keep doing this the whole time?
I have to give it at least credit where credit's due. I do think the end action scene on the car with the car driving.
It's fun.
That was a good time. I really did enjoy watching that.
What is it?
But
otters that help them?
The otters being cute as all. Yeah, they walked down the road. It's fun. But
where are we feeling this one? It's better. It's better than the bottom two for sure.
I
think it might be better than Good Guy.
I was gonna say better than
Do
Good
we
Guy,
put it above Cars?
I think so.
I think
Okay.
it's. I think
But
it's
Toy
sort
Story
of.
3 is.
I think that's where we're putting it at 13.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
Yeah, 13, my good man.
All right.
Lightning McQueen is dead.
Yeah.
In our
Ciao.
next one, number 18,
died for this movie.
Cars 3. I think it's the best Cars movie. You know why?
It is, honestly.
There's not a lot of Mater in it, and it's shorter than the first one by like 15 minutes.
That long?
Yeah.
Wow.
The first one's about 2 hours. It's like 3 minutes short of 2 hours. This one is 15 minutes shorter. It's 50 minutes shorter. There's less Mater, and the story. There's more happening in the story than the first one.
Well, what more could you ask for from a Cars movie?
Yeah, I think
for Lightning McQueen to die.
Yeah, Lightning McQueen is dead. He got eaten by Army Hammer Car. Jackson Store. He did. Army Chewy Hammer, according to this.
Yeah, you wrote that in there. Yeah, it's not great.
Just reading just like we thought Lightning McQueen was in the trailer. Cars is not dead.
Why did they make it look like he died?
Because
why market it like?
And it's another thing of like, so they fixed him up. Does that mean he's the same car still? If they take the engine out, does that mean he's a different car? If he wants to go faster, why doesn't he just get a better engine?
It's like the Theseus ship, right? In like the end of WandaVision. What's the you remember that? The whole Theseus ship, Theseus. There's a whole like old tale or something like that where like they replaces this ship with new boards over years and years and years, and then is it the same ship or a different ship? Did you never in WandaVision?
I don't remember that show very well.
WandaVision?
Yeah.
They mentioned that in WandaVision?
I don't remember.
They did at the very end. The visions are dueling off, and they're
so that's what was happening. I couldn't tell what was happening. He's
Yeah, and he was talking about that because if you sound the real one, and then they just give it. So like that's the same thing with the cars. Like if you rebuild it piece after piece after piece, is it the same car or is it different?
Do cars have souls?
Why is there a Pope mobile? Put it above Cars 1 and let's call it good.
Yeah, let's
put it at 13 and let's call it good.
13.
Yeah, the Dory heads are going to hate us too. Putting Cars 3 above Finding Dory.
Are there Dory heads?
Probably. I mean, it made $1 billion.
I mean, the Mario movie made $1 billion.
Yes.
And it's a good movie. Silence.
What are you talking about? Incredibles 2 is going to be down by Cars 2.
That's not the
Not
next
that
one.
far.
Oh, he doesn't know what you skipped. He doesn't know what's next.
He has not looked yet.
So very scary. What did we literally just talk about?
Peaches.
Cars 3.
Yep. So write Cars, and then just put a 3 on the one above it. On the one above it. That's it. There.
I was gonna wait a second. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do that.
So, Dickie, what's
But
number 19?
That is correct. Yes. Next up, we have number 19, which is a good movie. Number 19, we have The Incredibles 2.
No.
I got him.
You did.
I got him.
How did you do that? You said 19 and we're on. Wait.
We are at 19. Remember, you're looking at the list. You're not looking at the binder. Remember, the list is wrong. What one did you skip?
Well played. Well played. Well played. Okay, number 19, because those two sabotaged me, is supposed to be...
Do it.
Listen, all you all. It's a sabotage.
is Coco. And it is a beautiful...
Put it at number
Get
19
lit.
and call it good.
Absolutely not.
Get
There is
lit.
no
Get
chance.
gaslit.
There is
That one
no
right?
chance this is coming in under Cars 2. Coco?
Okay, put it
Absolutely
at number 17 and call it good.
Absolutely not. Coco is full of fantastic music. It is full of fantastic colors. It is full of fantastic characters. It is a great movie.
And it
is
fumbles
definitely
the plot hard.
it
Until the last, 2 scenes.
I mean, yes, the plot is...
Its villain is lame. These
Listen,
story coincidences are lame.
I'm just going to say, I did see the end, that twist coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah, it's dumb.
And...
It ruins the movie. If you take that out of the
that
movie,
doesn't-
it's a much better movie.
But that doesn't. But just that one. I still hold the other, the music and the animation style and the character development. Those worked so well for me. I'm able to forget about the.
There is something to say for it being the first Pixar movie about a different culture.
That too. That too.
Oh, yeah, it's important.
It's a.
I'm
Very
glad it
important
exists.
movie. Yes.
It makes me, it's one of those, I see the blueprint for something better, and it makes me mad and frustrated when the third act, for the most part, sucks. It saves itself.
Sucks is a strong.
For the last
word.
15 minutes? No.
Yeah, 10.
Dude, when he. Oh, is that when? Is the last 10 minutes?
Him
when he
singing
goes
to Grandma Coco is
Yeah.
great.
It is-
That's one of the best scenes they've made.
Yeah.
And the ending, that last song is good.
It's great.
Everything with Ernesto at the concert is dumb. It's stupid. And the way everything is coincidental, it's like, yeah, it's a kid's movie. Well, yeah, we can do things that aren't so coincidental and easy and still cater to kids' understanding.
Yeah.
And I know it comes down to I'm looking at what the movie could have been as opposed to what it is, but it's like they push everything into that contrived territory. It all starts after the Coco Loco song where
Coco
there's
Loco.
this forced conflict between him and Hector.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that was kind of forced. And then he goes up to the party and is hanging out with Ernesto. I'm like, aren't you, disappearing?
But the whole
Don't
thing
we
is,
have stuff to do? We got to get out of here. Why are we just, okay, whatever.
The thing is, I know he's disappearing, but at the same time, that's his hero, and he didn't know at that point. He didn't know that he was going to be a twist villain. And
Dickie,
so,
if I met Joey Chestnut and I'm turning into a skeleton,
that's who you go to.
Okay,
if I get to see the hot dog eating king himself, and I'm turning into a skeleton, like I'm dying, I'm probably going to focus on me staying alive instead of hanging out with Joey Chestnut.
I can't argue that because that's who you use as an example, and I love that. I fair enough.
The whole point being, if I'm dying, I'm going to try to not die before I hang out with someone.
Also, I will say, it seemed like De La Cruz was kind of pulling him along, like trying not to let him think about it all too much. Maybe
it's a montage of him hanging out doing random things that covers what seems like a long time. It's like, we gotta go,
I'm
dude.
trying to connect the dots. I'm trying to, but
He's trying to convince us.
Yeah.
Well, because because I see that issue. I understand that issue, but it's small enough for me compared to everything else.
Which is funny because that's like the crux of the story rests on Ernesto's shoulders. Mm-hmm. And when him being a jerk and a fake is fine, I kind of wish he was his relative and Hector wasn't. And then there's something there that's more effective.
That could have been interesting.
And I bring it up again. Family can be more than blood relations.
Yeah.
I think there's a point to be made there if you go that route. Because sometimes, or a lot of times for a lot of people, your family is awful. Your family are jerks. If he is related to Ernesto, and Ernesto is just a bad person. And he's got to live with that. It's kind of that whole never meet your heroes thing still. Mm-hmm. And also the whole thing of him like saying all that he did with the camera on him is dumb. It's called, they know what they're doing here for most of the movie, and they know how to end it. They don't know how to connect this well, so they just quick fix it. And I'm going to bring up the Hector thing again about, like, he's been dead for that long, and however long, his wife's been dead. And she never she'd recognize him, and she never once, talked to him.
Yeah,
they never once talked. I can understand being upset, but that long, and he can't just say, hey, I died. It's not that I abandoned you. I literally died. Look at me. I'm clearly not old.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, feelings like that are hard to get over. I understand that, and so I can see that point from it, but I see where you're coming from. But so hear me out, and I know this is going to get shot down really fast.
Oh, boy.
But hear me out. Coco, number 12. It beats out Toy Story 3, but it's
I like it better than Toy Story 3. I'm thinking about Bug's Life, though. It is one of those. It's
maybe
not as consistent, but it does have a lot more good things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking
11.
Yep.
So you think it is better than Bug's Life? I could see that.
Okay, Bug's Life is more consistent, and I think in this case, because the other thing you're arguing is the highs are higher, but I think in that other instance, it's but the rest of the movie isn't. Where Coco, most of the movie is actually good.
Mm-hmm. And again, let's not discount that it's the first.
Yep, it's a very important one.
Yes,
and it is a good movie.
And it is Pixar's first musical.
Is it a musical?
Yes.
I mean, there are a bunch of songs performed.
It is as much a musical as Beauty and the Beast.
There's a bunch of music numbers. Wouldn't that make it a musical?
Well, I didn't know where the line was drawn. I didn't know at what point things.
Is Sing Street a musical?
That's what I'm torn. I really
yes.
Yeah.
They perform musical numbers.
I don't know at what point.
That would make School of Rock a musical too.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Is School of Rock a musical? Cool.
There you go.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, number 11.
So this is going in number just under Inside Out.
Yep.
I think that's right.
All right.
Through this.
So number 20, Elemental.
Yeah. Right. There's nothing else here.
Well, Dickey, what is the real number 20?
Okay, I'm gonna do this. All right, number 20, not 19, not 21, is The Incredibles 2.
No, there's no the.
It's just Incredibles 2.
Oh, boo-hoo! It's the same thing.
No,
same
it's not.
difference.
It's literally a whole nother word.
But it's one.
If you're putting up marquee lights, if you want to put up an extra word,
no,
it's Incredibles 2. I don't make the rules. That's what
first
Brad wanted.
All right, I will. Hey, Brad knows what he's doing. All right, so I will submit to Brad.
This is another movie that shines within the relationships it creates in the story.
Yeah,
but is just kind of all right.
Yeah, I don't
more.
like the action parts of it. It's interesting because we talk so much about Brad Bird being a master of action. I find the action to be the most boring parts.
I mean,
It slows the pace down for me.
It's
I
got to
know-
be the villain is lame too.
that, and I know we brought it up the last time we
like, it's a-
filmed, was the final set piece being on the boat.
Yeah.
Is so far removed from anybody else being under any kind of stress, which is kind of the whole point sometimes.
Like the robot
But then, like,
is destroying the city, and this just open water. It's I think I mentioned in the episode. It's why Speed 2 isn't very good. There's nothing around them. Like when you're in the city, there's all kinds of things to worry about. It's a boat.
You could steer it in circles. You
Or
could.
something, and it's like we're gonna crash. It's like, oh, okay, it's a boat. That's our set piece. Nothing else. It's a boat.
We've seen Brad do better.
Yeah, what
So
were you
much
gonna?
better.
You were
Yeah,
gonna say
sorry,
something
Jake.
about
You were before I-
screenslaver.
yeah.
I was gonna say, like the screenslaver is such a terrifying idea because where do we look nowadays where there's not a screen?
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how they made that lame.
I think maybe they should. I can't say what they should have, but like, I don't know if it should have been related to
Is it because it's a
Bob
twist
Odenkirk.
villain?
Yeah. I think, what did I say? It should have been its own villain that we don't know outside of the mask. And Evelyn should have had the choice in that scenario too, like, because the whole thing of, like, my dad didn't call the cops, he waited for his super friends, is good. I think if she makes a choice to, like, take that side of the villain, and Screenslaver's not her, I think that's actually a good way to do that story with her character. But she's not given a choice, she's just already the villain. It's another lame twist villain. When it happens, you're like, oh, okay.
Is it? I mean, yeah, like all of these pretty much have fairly twist villains.
A bunch of them
Pixar
do.
really likes using that cliche.
It's so bad. They rarely do it with any sort of gravitas to it.
Monsters Inc. Mr. Water News, I think, worked well.
Yeah.
I think that works well. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of things.
but like you
other
talk
than
about
that?
like Cars 3. Didn't Cars 3 have one?
No.
Cars
I thought the Nathan Fillion car
Kind of.
was like a villain.
He
No,
wasn't
not
a
really.
Straight
The
up-
villain is Jackson Storm,
Okay.
who we barely see.
Yeah,
Because it's a more internal thing type of movie instead of. It's
Cars
what's
2
under the hood, man.
Oh,
Cars 2.
boo.
Cars 2 did, and it sucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, at least if you're gonna have a twist villain, at least make it make sense, not the fact that he could
Toy
make
Story
money
2,
on both.
All the worst ones have have twist villains.
Kind of funny how that works.
Toy Story 3, Cars 2, Coco, although it's not one of the worst ones.
Yeah, kind of interesting how that's usually a downfall to.
Oh, yeah, I think they've
their
just done it too
catalog.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely have.
They've done it so much that we can call who's going to be the villain.
I
It
think
almost
that's
makes
the
it not even kind of a twist.
Didn't we say how Incredibles 2's Screenslaver is very similar to Trevor Slattery and Iron Man 3, where it's such a cool
Yeah.
idea, and then it just once the twist is revealed, it just.
Do you remember
it
how
ruins it.
hype we were for that movie when that
That
trailer
was
came
supposed
out?
to be good.
Everyone was.
We
so
were like,
excited.
it's going to be the Empire Strikes Back of Iron Man.
Well,
Yeah!
because the trailer was showing the Mandarin stuff, and then like his house blowing up, right?
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
It's supposed to
that
be
was-
like it's supposed to be like stuff's gonna hit the fan, and then when you watch it, you go, "Oh,
It didn't.
it kind of did." I mean,
Kinda.
why did the house blow up? Because he told everyone where he lived.
Yeah, okay, that tends to happen. But that,
I mean, this is a side tangent, but there are merits to that movie, just like there are merits to what are we at?
Incredibles
2. I think it would have been better, again, if you take some of it out. If you take, what were we talking about? If like his communication with Ellen is just like over the phone or seeing news reports of it, and you don't actually see her doing the. Is it Ellen or Helen?
Helen.
Yeah.
No, Ellen is on the news for different reasons.
If you don't actually see her engaging in the action.
Also,
Which is a shame because I like that this is much more of her movie.
Yeah.
Because we spent all the time with him last night. It's nice to have her, but unfortunately she gets a worse movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, don't.
But
use those really
it's
dumb.
not even all that worse when they're all together.
Yeah.
When they're all together, it falls back into suit.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty quickly.
And
I
the stuff
also-
at home is actually
The stuff at home is fantastic. I love.
whereas other movies here, it's like, the first act or the third act are good. This one is the second act that's the best part. I think.
You're right.
The first act is fine. That middle act where it's like her doing that and then him figuring out how to raise those kids at home and like Jack's power. It's actually pretty fun. The third act is where it gets lame.
I also think that if you didn't see Helen when she was away, it would make you feel Mr. Incredible's struggle a little bit more.
Well, you know what could have been really interesting if you just got that information, like you said, from watching the news. Like I feel like that could have been used so much better than how we got it in this. Maybe that perspective on it is like interesting.
Yeah. Well, and then you know, like the same thing with the screenslaver, like putting the masks on and turning the good supers evil. That's interesting.
They defeat those masks way too easily.
It does kind of pop.
It's a long movie already. It's got to be. Oh, we gotta keep this movie.
But like the action of when I don't know if they have a name for them. When all the supers with the masks on come to collect the kids, that action is fantastic.
Yeah, that was great.
Fun scene.
It's really short. It's gonna be like a 2-minute scene.
Yeah,
it's really short because that's the point where I was like, all right, and then we're taken away from it, and it's like okay, and then it just kind of builds back to kind of an underwhelming set piece.
And then of course all the Edna stuff is
the
Edna stuff.
That's peak humor. Peak humor right there. Really quick about the sidekicks, like that is the best part they're used in. Because I don't know if they kind of underwhelmed me, like the random side characters.
All the new supers.
Yeah,
they're kind of a little bit lame. Void is fine. The rest are kind of lame. I did like the
Crusher guy makes me laugh.
He had a good line or two in there. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Uncrusher?
That's what it was. I was trying to, yeah. But okay, so where do you think this should end up?
Well, it's better than a bunch at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'd put it.
What is the bunch at the bottom?
I got it. We'll put Cars 3 is the separation point. We'll just say because that's the highest car. So what do we call that? The belt line or something?
Hey.
I don't even know what we call it, but basically,
it's definitely better than Cars.
It's better than all the Cars movies. Is it better than Toy Story 3?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it's better than Bug's Life, though.
I think it.
That's a hard one for me.
They're two completely different
They're
things.
so entirely different.
This one, like,
I would not say it's better than Coco.
No, I think that's where I draw the line as well.
It's like Bug's Life.
Why is it better than A Bug's Life? Is it consistency again?
I look at consistency.
Why is Bug's Life better, you mean?
Yeah.
I think this is where the consistency thing is because that third act of Incredibles 2 is just such a drop from the other two. And it's because it starts with that twist reveal and just goes down.
But
that's fair. I just look at I think the writing
The Incredibles 2 has Sam
Jackson.
No. Yes. But isn't that Sam Rockwell? That's the
Nope.
Who's the guy?
It's Bob Odenkirk.
It's Odenkirk.
Oh.
It's Saul. They called Saul.
That's right. The sixth season of his on Netflix.
It just which means it's
But
officially time that
what
I can.
season are you in?
One.
Me too. But hey, I am now that it dropped all seasons. It's go time, baby.
And his girlfriend's going away,
Yep.
so he's gonna have to have
I got
stuff to watch.
I was gonna say I gotta occupy myself somehow. We go and do movies and shows and all that stuff, but yeah,
I think that's what it's doing because I think Incredibles 2 has that potential. It just gets squandered at that point.
So you think Bug's Life is better?
I do. It's also much shorter. This might be their longest movie.
That is also true.
Because this one they spend a lot of time doing
Nothing.
Not a lot.
I agree. I think you're right. I think Bug's Life is better.
Are we fine putting Incredibles 2 at 13?
I think so.
All right, let's
Alrighty.
do it. It's gonna be a doozy to rewrite. Here we go.
The 21st movie in Pixar's catalog is Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
Which is much better than the third movie, and I was very, very happy to see that it holds up on a second watch, because I had not seen it, same as Dickey, since we saw it in 2019 in theaters.
Man, it aged so well.
It really did.
I actually liked it the second time. I didn't like it
You felt indifferent because you had the ending you wanted. And then the second time, what was the difference?
It's really, really good. Really, really good. As opposed to Toy Story 3, it's got all the camera movement you want.
It's more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
It's simpler.
It's got the
It's simpler.
best,
That's
one of the
big
best
thing.
characters Pixar has created in
Forky.
20 years.
That's what they did the best. The characters. They focused more on their relationships than them trying to get out of a stupid.
Well, no, what they did was they separated, 2 or 3 of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're able to focus on them instead of having to focus on the group. And I think, as much as I love the group, I think the group kind of kills Toy Story movies.
Well, you can't develop
Yeah.
the characters. You can, but I don't think that's how Toy Story works.
Well, the first Toy Story, they get separated. The second Toy Story, they shave down the number. It's a small group of them that go, and Woody's separated. That third one, they're all together, and it is kind of like, what do we do with all of them? Because we have so many, and they're all together for most of the week. Woody gets separated, yes, but we
And
introduce
then there's
more
also
characters.
new ones.
There's the new ones at Sunnyside and the new ones in Bonnie's room, and it's like, there are so many characters, and none of them feel like they need to be here. But you get to 4, and all the new characters have more of a purpose, and you remember them.
Key and Peele on this are hands down.
We're gonna be kids. We're gonna get kids. Or we're gonna get. How did they say?
We're gonna get it.
We're gonna kid.
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
And don't forget
It-
to infinity of my foot.
And that is my favorite. My favorite is their gag about, and then when they beat the old lady, like it's the long run at the end where they follow her home and they're doing all the dishes.
We're not doing that. And then, how did you get the key? And she literally sets it down in front of them.
Like that. I don't know if you remember that when we were recording the first episode, I was in tears remembering it because it's just so funny.
My favorite moment of theirs is the laser eyes thing at the end.
Yes.
And don't forget Duke Kaboom.
Dude.
Oh yeah,
Great.
Hey.
The whole I will make this jump with my eyes closed. Yes. Wait. What? And he just takes off. That was great.
Keanu, he has my heart. I love him. And the villain, and kind of not a villain, the antagonist, Gabby is
It is a villain. They do the opposite. It's a twist villain, but it's like the inverse because she wins.
Yeah.
She gets what she wants, and it's not what she wants.
So good.
And now she doesn't know what to do. And I like how Woody doesn't leave her behind because that's just Woody's character. And when you see that she stops becoming the villain because she realizes it. That's so good.
It's so powerful. Ah!
And let's not forget, this movie is absolutely gorgeous.
Dude,
Yes.
this is another... Wait, what was the last one again we just did?
This is the biggest jump in
Incredibles
animation since I think Coco.
Agreed. Yeah.
Which is only 2 years and one movie between them. So,
But when I tell
but
you...
still.
When I tell you, when
Yeah.
the scene started of the rain falling outside, I'm like,
Ooh.
did they... Is that actually the ground? How did they... Like, it looked...
Now it is dark.
It is...
So that helps.
That is
Or,
true. It is true. But
Any of the scenes on the carousel?
oh my
Is that what it's
God.
called?
At the end,
Yeah,
the
the-
carousel or the Ferris wheel or both.
both.
Also, Bo
Really,
Peep-
just anything outside where there's lights in the dark.
And
also
that cat.
Bo Peep's texture to me. I don't know why. I just thought she was drawn incredibly well. I really love the way that she looked.
And I was saying the cat
Yeah,
was like the big. Oh wow.
Yes, and they started doing humans more. Obviously, they started with 3 a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah. So we're hyping this up. How high does this go?
Well, it's above the belt line there.
It's above the belt line.
Does it?
It's
It's better than the third one. It's better than Incredibles 2. It's better than Bugs Life. It's
I
better than
think
Coco. It's better than
better-
Inside Out. It's better than both Monsters movies.
It's better than Up.
Better,
Yeah, it's better than Up.
Better than Toy Story 1.
You think so?
It is. It is.
You think it is?
God, Jake, I'm about to. But
I'm trying to think.
I'm. it might,
you
it
wanna
might
know
get
the
all the
issue
way up
here?
to right below Toy Story 2.
I was gonna say the
Fair
issue
enough.
here is because if it's better than that, then I think it's better than Nemo.
I think it's better than Nemo. I think it's better than Wall-E. I think it's one of the best stories they've written.
Is it better than The Incredibles?
I don't think so.
I don't
That-
know if it's better than Wall-E.
That's a. See. I think it's better than Wall-E. I think it's more consistent all the way through. I think.
Consistency again.
I think that. Again, emotional manipulation. They're playing on our heartstrings for Woody, but they're doing it
In a more-
correctly.
Yeah.
Like,
It seems more like natural and authentic to what the story needs. rather than just saying, here's a
And
piece of
no pun
hamburgers.
intended, Wally did seem a little robotic in that manner.
And you know what, Jake, you mentioned the last half of Wall-E, and this is better than the last half of Wall-E.
It is.
I almost cried.
see, I love Wally. Like I just think it's one of the best stories. Like I could probably make an argument for how it's better than Incredibles, but I don't want to fight that fight, so I'm not gonna push.
I could see it at 4.
I like that.
Toy Story 4 and 4.
Toy Story 4 and 4. All right, well, that's going to be a doozy to... Wish me luck, guys. I got to rewrite all of this. Woo!
So
We
at
made
number 5, I just got to say, I had a hard time saying that because from here it looks like Vale.
Or Valley.
And
Like,
I was
Valley,
like, what in the
Richie
world
Valley.
am I looking at?
Valley.
I'll fix that later. But
Rudy Valley and the 7 Huts of Charm. I made all of that up.
Beautifully.
That was nothing.
That was beautiful.
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was.
Beautifully done. Anyway, should we move on to the next movie?
I feel like I should be in a big Payday costume right now. The candy bar.
I was going to say Payday. What are the candy bars? Anyway, let's get this show moving onward.
Onward.
Haha.
Let's just put it at number 18 and call it good.
Is it better than Dory?
All right, 19 and call it
19.
good.
We just want to put it at 19?
Onward.
I don't want to talk about it.
It's not that. It's really not that egregious.
It has a good ending,
Yes.
and that's it. The rest of it is just
Set
kind
up
of
payoff, set up 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 payoff.
Check,
Yeah.
check. Hey,
What
I could do a story.
One
Wait, no, Jared, you're missing the part where they actually do a
$1 million.
That's right.
Literally.
$1 million.
Close to $1 million.
That's an inside joke. Nobody else.
I
is
wish
gonna
I could.
understand.
put that on
Everyone
the
that
thumbnail.
listens to this
I want to
podcast
put that
will
on the
know.
thumbnail.
Not.
That face. I want it on the just. It's that face again that Poe makes when Tylon calls him fat. You're just a big fat panda. The end is good. They don't build to it very well.
I agree.
They don't. There needs to be more of he's actually been my father figure because there's not. And plus, Chris Pratt is really annoying in this movie.
Did you
He's
say-
unbearable. And Tom Holland's a jerk in this movie.
Yep.
True.
Yep.
One's a jerk and one's obnoxious, and we have to care about them.
And then we had to watch them again in the Mario movie.
Tom Holland's not in the Mario movie.
Okay, one of them, though.
Well, that's the worst part.
Wow, you had Charlie going Mario.
Which they still gave my boy Luigi dirty. He should have been in that movie way more. But that's a whole different time. So,
You know what else they did dirty?
The whole movie?
The audience.
oh my gosh. Regardless, did you? Okay.
This
Calm
is
down.
synergy. You don't understand
I
it
can
over
see
there.
that happening from being across the room. Regardless, so sorry. Did you say?
Just put it under Finding Dory and above The Good Dinosaur. There are a group of people
Yeah.
who love it,
No, that's
and none
valid.
of them are in this room.
That's valid.
I mean, we're already getting hate for putting Toy Story 4 at number 4, so...
I don't know if we're going to get hate for that. I mean, Toy Story 3 right now is 15th. People aren't going to like that.
You know
There's just
what?
one problem with that. People actually have to listen to this.
You know what I have to say?
If we had more of an audience, we'd have people mad at us.
Screw the haters. Let them be mad at us. This is the real list right here.
Yeah, because our list isn't flawed at all.
Hey, every list is flawed, all right?
No, every list is flawed. Everything is it's all perspective based.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah.
Darkness.
What did we just? Oh.
No parents.
That's a good movie.
It's the
I
same
liked it.
movie.
I think I like that, but what were you doing?
I was doing Everything is Awesome. The Lego movie. And then Darkness. No
Okay.
parents is Batman from
Yeah.
the Lego movie.
I was going to say, I think that one's better than the first Lego movie.
It was the first Lego movie.
The Lego Batman
No,
movie?
that's not the Lego Batman movie.
thought it
I
was
never
like a Batman
saw
movie.
that.
They first-
I really
It's
wish
good.
I
They first used it in the Lego movie.
Oh, I forgot. I barely remember that movie. I watched it once with you at your parents' house when you lived there. It was me, you, and Aaron, I think.
Was that after we watched Gregory Peck get his head cut off by the...
I wasn't there. I did not watch The Omen with you.
Are you sure?
Yes. I watched The Omen by myself years later at my house with my copy.
At least you didn't have to try to drink Gregory Peck into the new Omen.
Because I don't drink.
Yeah, but I had to do that so that you don't have to.
Did you have to do that?
You drank
Dickie.
so I could sip? Is that what you're saying?
Dickie,
I'm
have
not
you
one to
ever
talk.
watched the new Omen?
No.
It's necessary.
That's fair.
And then you got to switch to drinking Gregory Peck into quarantine.
Just drink him into everything.
Okay. we'll drink him into cocoa.
There you go. You gotta drink him into soul, too.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Whitewashing.
Is that what we're on?
Yeah, boy.
I love whitewashing, don't you? Drinking Gregory Peck into Soul and Coco. Who's he gonna play? The cat?
Yeah.
The dog?
Ernesto.
Coco, we need to go. See? There. He's perfect as the dog. What's the dog's name? Dante, I think.
Dante.
Coco, this guy's not your great grandfather. Shut up, Dante. What? Sorry. The 2030 said is Soul. Dickie just said it.
Yeah, we are on Soul number 23.
Yep, came out in 2020, December. First straight to Disney Plus one because of the pandemic.
Yeah, they kind of screwed this one up. I think this one would have made a good amount of money. This was a good movie
What do you mean they screwed this one up?
by not putting it in theaters. But
Why would you put it in theaters?
I know
It was COVID.
I know.
Most theaters weren't even open.
I know, and I guess you really can't wait until everything is open to drop it because it had to come out soon. But that's what I would have wanted per se to see this in the theaters. But it is what it is. It's still fun.
I wonder if they'll ever re-release some of these movies that went straight to streaming because of the pandemic.
That's a really
into
interesting.
theaters.
Yeah.
Jake, you're right. They should do that.
I think specifically like the Disney movies.
Like Turning Red, this.
Or Strange
Luca.
World.
That was in theaters for
That was
a day and a half.
I know, I saw it.
How was that?
A lot of people did not.
Rank it somewhere on this list.
I was gonna say a lot of people watch Soul though.
Below the Good Dinosaur.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of nothing.
Better than I thought you were going to put it.
But Soul.
Soul.
This is I do really enjoy this.
I feel
I'm not
like
saying
it's
it's perfect.
two different movies.
There are issues with it, but I
People
really
love it. They love it so much.
and there's a lot of really good parts.
And there
with
is
it.
really good parts in
I
it.
like the. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I like the message at the end. I think that's a strong thing. I like the.
You mean
I want
They
to.
swung for the fences with the creativity, and I think sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I appreciate them for going that far.
I wanted to personally send 22 into the next afterlife. I'll tell you that.
Sometimes it
Shut
got a
up.
little. Sometimes
We don't need 22. We don't. Just speaking about Joe.
So when you talk about the end, did they send him back for...
They sent him back to live again. And I'm fine with that decision because the whole point of the movie is him learning to actually live and not just be obsessed with one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Everything. It's another thing where instead of focusing on more character stuff, we turn our main character into a cat, and then we spend most of the movie focused on plot instead of character.
Yeah.
How does this other world work? Well, we'll do it for the
doesn't-
first act, and then
he
we're
doesn't-
on Earth.
He learns to live by watching the 22 live through his body, which is weird to me.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's like we just put a middle-aged white woman into a black main character. And we turned him into a cat, which is the third time Disney or Pixar total has done that.
That's honestly hilarious that is a trend. It's how does that
A
happen?
person of color is that turned into something.
That's how is that
The
like
third
that's just,
time?
Third time that Disney or Pixar has. This is the first Pixar.
So, okay. So
Disney
Princess
did
and the
Brother
Frog.
Bear and Princess and the Frog.
Okay.
And then A Spies in Disguise from Blue Sky does the same thing, which is now a Disney property.
Oh my god.
Where
you're
Will
right.
Smith gets turned into a bird.
So
I
do
think
you-
I think there's a lot of good things in Soul. I just don't.
You know the
I
blue-
think it's just incredibly inconsistent
I don't know if
because of that. Because I feel like sending him to the afterlife, that should have been the whole movie, or having him like experience, like have that out of body experience, figuring things out works. It's weird putting 22 in his body though. That was.
I just didn't like. Yeah.
What if he got everything he wanted at the beginning and then lost it, and that's how he has to learn?
That also worked.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I can
Hall
see
of
that.
Memories thing is really interesting.
Oh, there's so
we
much.
spend 20 seconds in there.
There's so much they could have done with that. I'm glad you like.
I like the design of stuff. Like I like the design of like the Guardians, like the light streaks that they are.
Yeah.
Like they're interesting, and whoever voices that annoying one should stop being so annoying.
The short one, Terry,
Yeah.
that was Rachel House. Isn't she in a lot of Taika Waititi stuff?
I feel like I've heard her name pop up in Taika stuff. Yeah. Because yeah, like that's what I was saying. Like I like that they did the ethereal stuff. Like that's that's kind of unique.
But again, I feel like that's a separate movie. It clashes with. I don't know. I don't know if it's intended to, but I think it clashes with itself, and I don't think it's better for it.
And it basically feels like Diet Coco in many aspects. It's
I mean,
like going to
it's the second one
an
in that-
afterlife place and figuring out how things work and trying to get back. And
Didn't you say this is the last one in the unofficial trilogy?
with like Inside Out, how things like the big how things function type. Like Inside Out and Coco, he's younger than Soul, his older character. Just
Yeah.
So
Like,
then-
it's hard because like the message pulls me, like makes it want to.
and it's good for representation.
It is great for representation.
And people love it, and it was very successful. I just think it's very, very overrated.
I'm trying to think of.
Well, it's above the belt line, for
Yeah.
sure. Is it better than Monsters University?
No.
Is it better than Inside Out?
I don't.
I think it's right up there about equal with
Yeah.
it.
Here's the
like
thing.
it
We're
better
putting
than-
the trilogy in one spot.
That's
So
really funny.
so of the trilogy, so we've said so far, Inside Out is better than Coco.
Yep.
So is Soul in the middle of that? Is it the
it
worst
better
of the
than-
three? Is it the
better
best of
than-
the three?
I don't think it fumbles itself quite as hard as Coco does.
But it also doesn't establish its rules or keep consistent with them. Because I was remembering, like, the whole point is to get back to Earth, but you can just go to the pirate ship guy and just fly back into your body. So is the whole point of this.
Yeah, the whole pirate.
They can just pop back in
I was
if
gonna
they
say
want.
the whole pirate thing just threw me off.
They're basically
general.
saying, let's set up this world of rules, and then, but we have to get back for the second act. Okay, let's just do this. They kind of try to get out of it. It's like, then what was the point of all that setup if you're just gonna break your rules, right? Like, what is the point?
I don't know if it's better than Coco.
I'm kind of feeling it below Coco.
I think Coco is. I think it's better than Bug's Life, but I don't know.
So 13?
13?
13. Yeah, the trilogy is in fact all together.
Alrighty, 13 for Soul.
13 for Soul.
We are going to get so much hate.
Yeah. The 24th movie in Pixar's catalog is A Breath of Fresh Summer Air. Luca. Yoinked from theaters, if you remember.
That's a shame.
That
Yes.
when did this come out? This was June 18th of 21.
Yep.
I feel like at that point COVID was still.
Wait, you say
Kind of.
that, but Raya had come out months before.
It's
just
And
the
did poorly, so that's probably why they yanked it.
It's
But
just
also
the
they just did it without
Almighty
saying anything.
hand of Disney. Let's be honest
Yep.
about this.
Yeah, because this would have made a lot of money.
I really love this movie. This is probably my favorite of these.
Of all the movies.
I would say so.
Wow, this is your personal. That's awesome.
It's
It's
such
just a breath of breath there.
breath of there.
Breath of fresh air.
Hey, you got it.
It's refreshing.
And there's really good pasta in it. Like, can you watch this? I don't think it's possible to watch this movie and not get hungry. The way they use, like, the actual homemade Italian culture and just, like, showed how lovingly that man makes pasta. And, like...
Best dad.
Yes.
Best dad.
Literally the dad of the year. I don't remember what else
And-
came out this year.
And for the first time in not 20 years. Well, 20 years?
20
For the
years.
first time in the 2000s, Pixar did the liar reveal correctly.
Yeah.
where there's actual stakes and fallout, and
it's not a big embarrassing moment.
Yeah, and it changes the movie.
And it's not like, and it's not a they did something wrong, and it's more of a they're hiding who they are, and when they're outed, it's Massimo who says, like, I know who they are. They're Luca and Alberto, and they're the winners. Isn't that what he does?
Yeah.
The bikes. That was the one part where the bikes cross, and I go, I guess that counts.
It does have a really funny antagonist too.
He is so funny.
Yes, he's
Ercole.
good. Who played him again?
Ercole.
You're trying to remember who played him.
Saverio Rima. Oh man, we're slaughtering that name.
Yeah, I'm gonna butcher your name, but sir, you did a job well done.
He's
that was so.
He's such a little prick. I think I said that like 8 times in the episode. He is, and it's wonderful. It's not a twist villain, as you said. It's just here's just this bratty, arrogant little snot who's just overconfident and is just thinks he's better than everyone because he has every right to, because he's been beating everyone at this one competition every year. So when he loses, it feels oh so good.
Oh, I love it.
And he's just funny.
He is really funny.
With his little catfish
and the way he yells at his counterparts.
Mm-hmm. Also, realistically, the chemistry between, like, I'm just looking at the cast now. Jacob Tremblay and Jacqueline Grazer, like Luca and Alberto, like those two, I bought that they were friends, like immediately. I loved them bouncing off of each other. It was there's so much, like that Silencio Bruno, like just when they both get each other going about what they like, it makes me remember what it's like to just talk with your own friends, and I just love that.
And I like how Alberto, how he helps him for the race. He kind of exposes himself, but then Luca redeems himself from earlier by outing himself to go save his friend. Like, it's really good. It's a nice laid back movie. Again, Pixar is always better when it's not plot focused, it's character focused, and this is 100% character focused.
Absolutely.
In addition to that, it's again absolutely gorgeous.
Oh
with
yeah,
the animation. It's a different style somehow.
They went more for the stylized, like, facial expressions and the way characters move instead
like
of being 100%.
Charlie Brown movie ish.
Yeah, kind of like that Peanuts movie. Yeah, and they did. It's weird how, like, the landscape around them is realistic, but they do tap into more cartoonish purposely to make it look like an animated movie more.
And obviously, the Under the Water as well.
Yeah,
it really had that. Just like
and his parents,
fantastic.
they're
the only
Maya
thing,
Rudolph and Jim Gaffigan are.
Those two are so good.
The only thing I would say for it is that I don't remember like the music very much at all.
So really quick, hear me out. You're gonna laugh at me when I say this. What I remember music wise is the
when he's on the train at the end.
I don't know if it's on the train at the end. It might be not even from the movie, but it's a TikTok sound. Like Silencio Bruno, do. Is that from the movie at all, or am I just?
I don't remember.
Okay.
We just watched all these week after week for months.
This one we literally watched a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like if that
And?
wasn't from the actual movie, then that's fair.
You don't remember the music?
Nope.
I don't remember the music. I don't think he's ever heard the music.
I have obviously I watched the freaking movie, but
Are you sure?
Are you
we,
sure
we
you
all
didn't
remember
watch
what
all
happened.
of them?
We all remember what happened with the Finding Nemo debacle.
One movie weeks ago.
Maybe if they changed the title to Watching Nemo, he would have watched it.
I'm gonna channel my other Disney properties and say, "Let it go." You see what I did there?
Ugh.
You see the cleverness.
Cleverness.
Luca.
That's about as clever as a wet rag on a rock.
I mean, if it's on a rock, is it sunny out? Wouldn't that
dry
dry?
then.
That'd dry then. That'd be a dry rag on a rock, which could be anything.
There you go.
Luca.
I also love that they don't have a super sort of explanation for like why there are mermaids or why they
They're not
change.
mermaids. They're sea monsters.
Okay, sea monsters.
They're mermaids, but okay. But you're
Regardless, why they are the way they
Regardless,
are and why they change when they come out of the sea.
And the one explanation is, if the way his tail disappears, it feels like it's still there. That's called phantom tail.
Just a
Go.
quick.
Okay, that's the only explanation we need. When they dry off, they're human. Okay, whatever.
And I love the message at the end of it about like the other monsters that were there the entire time that were human.
The two women.
Yeah, I
The
just,
ones that they say that they call stupido,
Yes,
and they throw the ice cream at them.
yes, I love that so much.
That scene when Jim Gaffigan takes the ice cream from the kid, throws it in the water.
I stand by
They're
the fact.
beating those kids up.
I stand by the fact I mentioned it when we first recorded the episode for this. I'll mention it again now. The compilation of those two going around and pushing every kid into the water, it makes my heart happy. I love it so much. Ah, it's so good. But now the question is, where does it go?
Well, it's in the top 10.
Yeah,
It's better than Up.
it's better than Up.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Toy Story 1.
Is that the extent?
That's a hard one. I don't
I
think.
think it comes down to it doesn't aim as high, and it's a weird thing because again, when you rate things and rank things, it's always going to be hard because things are so different.
Mm-hmm.
I think when things reach higher and accomplish it, compared to things that don't reach as high, I think that does put it over.
Yeah, but
the
I
top.
think that's also what makes it so good is that it doesn't reach as high.
You know what I'm trying to
It's
say.
yeah, but it's small. It's intentionally a smaller story, and I don't think you could like say Finding Nemo is better because it reaches higher when it tries to reach higher, but then Luca doesn't try to reach as high, but is just as good.
You know what I'm trying to say.
The only thing I will say is that the first Toy Story, just being that cultural movement, like the setting off. I know he mentioned it before when he brought it up, but I don't know if that holds it over Luca or not. I am so incredibly torn on this.
I don't think so.
It's tough.
I think so much. Like I know Toy Story is a nice tight story, and that's why you like it. It's funny, but I also think that there's a bunch of nostalgia there that Luca hasn't had the chance to adapt to. And I think if I just compare the two stories themselves, like just the stories on paper, I think Luca's is better, and I think it makes more of a point. Toy Story, because of when it came out, I think is a bit more experimental. Like I don't think they knew that type of animation and storytelling was gonna work, and so it's obviously much more contained. Luca, I think, is more grounded.
I do kind of piggyback off what you say now that I'm like thinking about it. I feel like I'm about to change my mind on this, but I do feel like Luca's morals and the message at the end is a little stronger and has more to say than Toy Story. And I think that's exactly why you said, Jake, is because they were focused on making it, because just using the computer graphics at that time, you have to focus on actually just animating the stuff and making it look that well, and you can't focus on the story.
Yep. I think I'm fine with it. 7. I could make an argument. I don't think it's better than WALL-E.
I think it's better than Nemo.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's what I was arguing. I was content with it surpassing that Toy Story. I was arguing with Nemo.
Oh.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, that's what I don't know about Nemo, because Nemo does more
That's what I think.
and accomplishes it. That's the thing. When you do more, it's kind of like
And they are
one is supposed to be this and one does more because it's supposed to do that. That's why it's hard to rank things. Mm-hmm. But we're human, and this is fun. So that's why we're doing it.
My gut is telling me that I want to say it's better than Nemo.
I'm so torn because.
And does that come from the preference thing of you're not a big fan of Nemo?
I don't know. That's the problem. Tell me what Nemo does that's bigger.
That's what
I was about to bring up. So one, I think it's just what.
There are definitely more miles covered.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's about the adventure goes a little bit bigger than this. Again, bigger does not always mean better. But I will say this one in my mind has the
Nemo does two main character big arcs simultaneously, pulls them off, and it comes to fruition at the exact same moment where they both lean on each other's growth to accomplish something.
That's
That's the same thing with Luca, though.
I don't think they do as much as
both-
Nemo, though. That's the thing.
I don't think there's two because like in Nemo,
Luca works simpler, I think, is the thing.
in Nemo,
and that's what it's supposed to do.
You're right though. You have Nemo trying to get back, and you have Marlin going to there. And for Luca, it's just the one single. And I know it says just 2 versus 1 is more better or not, but I think just juggling those two things is a little bit more impressive than just telling a single story that Luca tells.
That's fair.
So Nemo is better than Luca.
The other thing with Luca, it's not like he grows a ton, because it's not about him changing. It's about the people around them changing, which is a completely separate thing to compare.
That is true.
So that's why I'm saying it's hard to do this, because it's
I
it has different goals, and it's a smaller story, and it's a simpler movie because that's what it sets out to do, and it accomplishes it very well. They both do. That's why it's hard to know what one is better.
Yeah.
But they both have water.
They both have water.
So, you said you were fine at 7.
I'm fine.
7. All right. Luca, that cracks top 7. That is impressive.
Yeah. Start erasing, Chalk Boy.
Turning Red, the 25th movie. Whew, this is almost the end. We almost made it all 26.
Yeah, there's 27, Dickie.
27, right, that's right, 27. But holy Toledo, this is, for their 25th movie, it's good. It's really good, and it
really sent me into a weird thought
An
space.
existential crisis.
I talked about it in the episode.
I know you did, yeah.
When you give me this,
I was like, wait, what?
oh
yeah, you
what
did.
is this? It's the whole thing of like,
Well, you see, Dickie, he had his own panda come out.
We all have our own pandas come out all the time.
some of us look like a panda.
True.
Yeah, it sent me into a weird thought process, because it's like, I don't really like this, but I'm fitting that stereotype of adult white men that don't like this. But they're like calling out things as flaws that are not flaws. So I'm just like, okay, I'm not coming up with big flaws, but except for the undercutting of the message at the end, which it doesn't stump me as much as it does you. 'Cause I think we brought up Encanto undercuts its message a lot more than Turning Red, but also deals with the generational trauma better. So it's a weird thing of like, it does one thing worse but one thing better. Mm-hmm. This is kind of in that middle of, yeah, it's good. I don't like it that much.
You're not to
but
like
it's
things.
not it's not for me.
Yeah.
And it's a perspective I don't have, and it talks about things, as you said, that aren't always or usually ever positively portrayed in media. So it's a good thing to portray this way, and it's an important thing. There are relatable parts of it. The cringiness of that age, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, walking. I can't remember. May into the gas station was like,
Oh man.
Yes.
And also the outside with the tree that you forgot your pads.
Oh.
It's like, I've never had to deal with that, but that I can feel your pain.
Oh. And also just for me it was also just the companionship of your friends at that time. Like I love it, like when you all just get going together with you, like that just makes me happy. And I just recollect that so hard of being.
Yeah, but then the other thing, the perspective, like my friends and I did not act like that. We were not that loud, or at least loud like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I was an not that I still am, obviously, but I was an incredibly loud and obnoxious teenage boy. So I can definitely.
He's still an incredibly loud and obnoxious teenage boy.
I'm 27, or at this point I'll be 28, but.
Yeah, just it's hard for me to talk about critically. Mm-hmm. Because it's something I don't like, but that's preference.
The more I think about it, yes, I'm annoyed by it. But I do think it's good, and I think it's important for representation, and I think it's important kind of turn in their catalog.
It continues Luca's character animation design.
Yeah.
I noticed that the second watch, like, yeah, it's the same thing as Luca, and the animation is good. It's just, it's different. It's looking at something different, and
it is.
Having those two in a row followed up by Lightyear is kind of funny.
It's really
kind of a step back.
I don't
clever,
want to talk too much about Lightyear,
too.
but
What'd you say?
It is kind of clever too. Turning Red.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't want to talk too much about Lightyear, but yeah, they really swung for the fences. Like this is, like you said, like they could have fallen flat on their face. Flat
on their face.
This feels like someone's passion project.
Yes, it absolutely does. And I always love that sense of like when you can say something that's like it feels like authorship
and you know looking at the totality of the DreamWorks and kind of more specifically after Toy Story 3, they feel like they come out on a conveyor belt, and you can pick a few here. Coco probably, Toy Story 4, Luca Turning Red, like those specifically feel like specific projects that were intentionally made.
It's almost like for a hot minute there, Pixar got almost. I don't want to say Pixar is like really back to like their basics, but like they really realized that yes, focusing on characters works.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that you have people that want to tell stories relating to themselves, and I don't think it's they decided to focus on characters. I think it's they decided to make these movies for themselves.
That is
rather
true.
rather than the mass that wants your Toy Story 3s and
that is very true, and especially about like you telling the storytellers that want to tell a story about themselves. We're just getting more and more diverse people making movies now,
and we should appreciate that.
Yeah, and you can feel it. Like they're really this really just like wow, they're actually doing like helping appreciating undertold stories up, and this is it makes me happy to talk.
So, where do we put it?
Well, it's above the belt line easily.
It's easily above the belt line.
Where's the belt line right now?
Cars
Toy
3 is at
Story
18.
3, yeah.
I think it's better than A Bug's Life.
You know what? I'm looking at this, and before me and
I'm sort of thinking in 12.
I was thinking of number 11. I think this is better than Monsters University. I think it speaks to it reaches a very different audience.
I think it's more important than Monsters University for sure.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's going to top Monsters Inc. for me. It's very close. But I think Monsters Inc. And it's so hard because that's on the edge of my nostalgia. So I have such strong feelings of love for that movie. In the Billy Crystal and...
How do you feel about putting Turning Red in the top 10? Isn't that different from where we were a couple months ago?
Yeah. I just don't have reasons that are non-preference to keep it out of there, but I also don't think it goes in the top 10. It's a weird thing.
I think it goes above Inside Out for sure.
I think it's more interesting. I'm feeling 12.
Yeah.
Because I just
You
have
don't
that
think
connection
they're
to
university?
and again, this is all about perspective and connection.
It is. Yeah.
None of us are Asian Canadian teenage girls
in 2002.
Yeah. We are three sad weirdos, white guys in a basement
Yeah.
talking about kids movies.
Stop giving man microphones.
Yeah.
But I know. It's hard,
I'm
but
looking at 12. I think it
You
is
don't think
better.
I can-
I think it's better than the trilogy.
I can't push you to Monsters University
Why is it better than Monsters University, Dickie?
because I think I don't want to rely on the importance aspect specifically, but I really think the message at the end of the day that you get from interacting with your parents and the way that it like the writing, I think it's the writing.
He's right. I do think it is more of a connectable story.
Yeah.
I think they both do relatable things.
It's interesting to think about.
One is kind of more specific than the other.
Well,
I think University is a little more universal. That's weird to say.
That's probably fair.
I think the other one's universal because the other one deals more with like your parent and kid bond, which is like every single person.
But not everyone knows their parents either.
But
that is true. That is true.
Whereas the other one, the dreams thing, everyone has dreams, and everyone has most people at that moment where they don't come true. And the movie telling you it's okay.
But also, Turning Red is about the type of people, the age that would be really, really into this movie. Mm-hmm. Like when you're watching this as a kid, you're not gonna know like some of the college jokes. You're not gonna understand because they're college jokes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is more. Not that this is a
like,
positive
and
or
Monsters
negative,
University is made for fans of Monsters Inc. Turning Red is obviously made to speak to girls going through puberty,
but also just universally speaks to because everyone goes through puberty.
Mm-hmm. Not everyone goes to college.
Yeah. That's true too. Turning Red doesn't have a thing to launch off from like Monsters University.
It had a lot more ground to cover. For its first moving
and yes, I agree with you that it's annoying, and I agree with you that it undercuts its message. But I actually do sort of think it.
Yeah, 11.
I might put it
Number
11.
Okay. So, the 26th movie in Pixar's catalog is Lightyear. Came out 2022. Happy birthday to Jared, as I've said 80 million times in this, because that's when Pixar puts their movies out.
Summer movies.
Just like Brave, starts really well, and then just, instead of where it's Brave and like completely just out of nowhere collapses, it just becomes nothing. Very quickly. It's just bland.
I know I have a personal opinion that shouldn't be weighed into it, but I wanted more stars. I wanted more space. And they just didn't give it to me.
I don't think that's a negative.
I
think
know
that's,
it's not.
When you go in on a second watch, knowing what it's doing, that part doesn't bug you. Because I was like, oh, we're going to be here the whole time? Because I thought it was going to be a Space Ranger movie. More of one.
So actually, this is a good point, because this was my first watch. And it's so hard, because obviously going into it, everybody does not like it. But
I forgot to pull this thing over here.
It's clear to see that, like, it's hard going with those kind of expectations. I know it's not that great, but it's just forced. It's not.
It starts so well, though.
It does.
It's not like it's animated poorly either.
Oh, no, it looks fine. I think it's, when we said a step back earlier, I think it's because the last two were so stylized and unique, and this feels kind of just like a remastered version of what they've done before. And
it's Toy Story, because it makes us money.
Yep.
It's easy.
I think this would have been a better movie had it not been attached to the Toy Story name.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been certain expectations.
And expectations kill movies. So
You would think that they would understand that, though.
Exactly. That's why I know. I can go off a whole tangent, but like, I just don't know how this even got greenlit. Like, I don't understand.
I know how it got greenlit.
But the thing is, I know wanting to use Toy Story. I know that, but they couldn't think of anything else.
What do we say in the episode? Buzz Lightyear Star Command gives them a bunch of episodes of content to pull pieces from that work, and they don't.
But Buzz Lightyear Star Command's not on Disney Plus.
It should be.
Should be.
Just saying, they have all that to work with. It's just like when Force Awakens was coming out, and they said, oh yeah, all the extended universe, that doesn't exist. And everyone got pissy. I get it. Also, that's what they had to do, because otherwise you can't make anything new. They have all that stuff to grab from. But in this...
And now the new shows are all re-legitimizing stuff that happened in the extended universe.
And funny how the new shows are everybody is loving. Or
except for the new season of The Mandalorian.
Well, yeah.
I have not seen the whole thing.
New.
That's true. At this point, it's not very new.
That's true.
That first act, though, has the interstellar time jump thing, and it works really well, and the whole like guilt on him about fixing a mistake is really good, and then nothing happens.
Why would they drop such a good story? Like, I don't understand why they would stop.
Because it's the easy way out.
Yeah.
And what does the song say? There's no easy way out. Giving in can be wrong. Rocky IV.
It's a very good point. That is very true. Actually, really quick, I just thought of a positive thing when you're talking about how good the animation looked. I do like the color palette of this.
Yeah.
It is a good. It's a very it's spacey. It's, at least
you just complained there wasn't enough spacey.
I meant to say the look of it was spacey, and I like that. I do want more actual space.
You know what other movie has
that the
spacey?
ship was called the Turnip.
That's true. You know what other thing is spacey?
What's that?
A Bug's Life.
You mean because it's purple and green?
No, because Kevin Spacey was Hopper.
Oh.
It's too late at night for that, Jared.
Y'all, we went 5 hours straight on this one.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to talk about where we just talked about it the other week as of recording this. So it's not going to be very high, but I think it's better than those bottom two for sure.
Does it pass? I don't think it passes the
The Good Dinosaur. I think it passes Good Dinosaur.
Yeah,
I can
think it
tolerate it more than
I was-
Onward. That's the thing, though. That
I
might be a
was-
preference thing.
I think I might. Should we really quick jump to the belt line? Is it going to be better?
It's not going to be in the middle. It's.
No.
I'm going from the bottom up on this one because it's
Okay.
better. I think it's better than those first three and probably four.
Is it better than Finding Dory?
I don't think so.
I think it's better than Onward.
You think it's at 22?
I think it's
Yeah,
better than
I
Onward
think it's a
now.
better story than Onward for sure. It's not set up, payoff, set up, payoff, set up, payoff, set up, payoff. Oh, now you got to care about this thing.
Yeah,
At
it's
least
like,
there's some little bit
I'd-
of build up to why I would care about Buzz
The only
being in
thing
that
is,
situation.
The only
And there are good moments in like the Inside Out sandwich.
yeah,
yeah,
and Socks.
Yeah.
Socks.
Socks is a better character than anyone in Onward.
Can we just get a Sock solo movie?
Yeah.
That is true. I was gonna say the only thing is I think some of the extra Onward characters are better than the extra.
Oh, it comes down to Onward has annoying characters and Lightyear has bland
Irrelevant
characters. And I would
characters.
rather have bland characters than annoying characters. And the main character is much more tolerable in Lightyear than
but
Onward.
you say annoying, and I think it gives the characters at least a little bit more.
See, there's a difference between bad and annoying. You'd rather be bad than bland because then you're memorable.
Yeah.
But annoying makes it hard to watch.
Yeah,
So-
but
I'd rather be- I'd rather be
Are
bad.
you specifically referring to Chris Pratt and Tom Holland?
That's what I was about to ask.
Yeah,
So you're
because-
not really referring to any of the secondary
That's
characters.
what I was gonna-
I don't even
Bring
think
up.
any of the secondary characters do much either. Like the mom's boyfriend is a wasted opportunity.
But they're not annoying.
But the mom did.
Yeah.
I really like
It's
the
Chris
mom.
Pratt that's really the
And Tom Holland. They're both
They're
annoying.
both annoying. So then if you compare that, Lightyear, Chris,
Evans.
Captain America, I mean, he's not annoying. He's pretty good in this.
I don't think anyone in that movie is annoying. They're also not really much
I
of
mean,
anything.
it was nice to see this movie and just confirm for myself that I don't like Taika Waititi.
It's fair.
I like Lightyear at 22.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
All right, I guess I will join the Taylor Swift club. I think that's accurate.
It's a fearless take. We're
I'm-
almost out of the woods, everybody.
Yeah, but it's not going to overtake turning red.
Oh, look what you made me do.
Did you just unplug yourself?
I know I dropped my phone.
Don't leave this. No, I'm not going to say that one. It was gonna be bad.
Everyone,
I was gonna-
just shake
We're
it
not
off.
gonna
Shake
have
it off.
We're not gonna have any bad blood over this, right?
Oh, I was going blank space. I was trying to think of work that in, but I couldn't figure it out. I just got to shake it off.
You guys are nothing but trouble.
Well, guys, the last one is obviously the most recent one, Elemental. Recency bias.
This is
Recency
gonna be
bias,
hard.
one of my more favorite ones in recent memory.
How in God... you were pointing out a really good point. This is going to be really hard recency-wise to, like let it sit in and,
To
like,
logically
figure
look
out
at it?
how it actually fills into the whole thing.
It's one of those things like, I'm going to use an example that I used before. Like, Monsters U I didn't like the first time, and 10 years later I did. So this one, it's like, do we like this even more in 10 years? It's like, we don't know.
I mean, this list
So-
changes in 10 years entirely, though.
That's a
Maybe,
very good point.
okay, you're going to think me blasphemous when I say this, but
Oh.
maybe in 10 years, Ratatouille's not at number one.
How
Maybe.
dare you?
You
How
never
dare
know,
you?
Jake. You could be right.
I mean, I don't think Toy Story 2 would ever overtake it, but you don't know.
you never...
Matters what they make, or is there even a film industry anymore in 10 years? Who knows? There's so much going on.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
What
Yeah.
are we in?
We're... So...
Yeah. We don't want to talk about it at all. We haven't talked about it in a whole week.
That's a good point. It's a great movie. And I genuinely think that it... God, it's so hard. I just watched it. Calm down. It's one of my favorites.
I have a similar reaction to it that I did to Luca. I don't know that I'd put it that high, but it feels like the most genuine thing
they've made.
nearly on that list.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. When you look at just like the
Like,
genuine nature
It
of it,
just
Luca
feels
is,
like a human story.
Yeah. Remember what I said about like
And
these days with so much soulless stuff. When something's genuine, it's just automatically like I think I like this better than I would have before, just because I respect something that actually has effort and passion put into it, and that personal touch that director Peter Sohn injected into it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this is tough, guys.
Well, it's above the belt line easily.
Oh,
And it's better than
Toy
Toy Story 3, and it's better than Incredibles, it's better than Bug's Life, it's better than the trilogy. And this is where we thought we were going to be. It is better than Monsters U.
Yep.
It is.
I think it's better than Turning Red,
It
too.
is better than Turning Red.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I
Turning
think-
Red is really tough.
Turning Red, okay, I'm going to give this...
I think Turning Red is the line right now, in my mind. In my mind, I'm battling between this and Turning Red.
And it's hard because it just came out.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Jake.
I'm going to put it to you this way. Turning Red is great. Like we said in our episode for Elemental, the difference is that Turning Red is targeted towards a specific group of people, towards a specific story. And I think by and large, that hurts it by comparison. Because Jared says that it's a good movie. Jared doesn't really like it a whole lot. And yes, that's a preference. But Elemental is a good movie and also is like
More
by
universal.
all three of us.
More universal,
Yes.
I think.
But just because something is more universal doesn't mean it's better.
I also think it doesn't undercut its message at the end as much.
That is true. We did talk about that.
And I think,
Alright, you got-
and to be honest with you, I think Elemental's prettier.
They're different.
I stand with that.
That's the thing.
I think
Turning Red.
Elemental does the look.
Yeah, the colors. It does the colors better, but Turning Red has a distinct style, and I didn't notice it until the second time. I was like, no, there's a lot going on that I just didn't focus on because I was too busy wanting to like stick a drill into my forehead the first time. Like, again, that's not a slight against the movie. It's called "This Is Not Made for Me."
Yep.
And then the second time, it's like, okay, I know where this is going, and I can kind of weed through the screaming. And it's like, no, there's a distinct style here, and it is different. It is very similar to Luca's style. It's all in the faces.
Yeah.
And it's a good color palette. I just think Elementals is stronger.
You guys did a good job. Because Turning Red is where I was stuck. I'll bump it over Turning Red.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to Monsters.
It's hard because, again, it's so
That-
recent.
And they're very different movies. And again, I am just gonna sit on the genuine feel of it. And I know that's hard because there's so much like world building type stuff and like a villain and a more like concrete A to B to C storyline of Monsters University
Well,
or
and
Monsters University.
Yeah,
Monsters Inc.
The other thing is, I know you're going back to the genuine nature is well, I'm talking this out. I'm trying to figure out where I lie. Elemental is more personal. It's 100, and
I think it makes it
that's hard
better
to stand
too.
up, though, because like if we're going that it's more personal than Monsters, does this jump like this like how far up does this go?
I don't think it crosses that first Toy Story. It's too close to call. Where it's a
under the first Toy Story is Up.
yeah, I
It's
know.
better than Up.
I feel so. Okay, I think here's the thing. Up is really fantastic for the first 45 minutes.
And the last like 20.
Yeah, that it just becomes a slog and loses all,
Momentum.
in my opinion, sense of imagination.
I'm right there with you.
It just loses it. Like I almost feel like maybe Up shouldn't be that high. like again, the more we talk about it, the more I weigh it against other
But those
things.
the good things are really
They're
good.
really good. Like we would not love Carl's Date if we did not love the first 10 or 15 minutes of Up as much as we do. And I think Up had my favorite Pixar short in front of it.
What was the short in front of Up?
I think it was Paperman, but I do not know for sure.
I don't think
No, it
was-
might have
I
been
remember
Stormy Weather.
Stormy weather.
Yeah, the clouds.
What one was? Do you remember what one Paperman was in front of?
Watch it was a I just
Paperman was a newer one for sure. Because I remember seeing Paperman.
I don't
You know,
know.
again,
I don't know
I
what
never
one
saw
I would
it.
have seen in theaters that would have been that. It wouldn't have been Toy Story. It's not as recent as Toy Story
It might
4.
have been Inside Out.
That's a good call.
It might have been Inside Out. But yeah, because I...
Paperman played before Wreck-It Ralph for Disney.
Oh.
That's a Disney?
Yeah, Paperman's Disney.
Huh.
Alright, there you go.
Okay, well then
Yeah,
I guess
Ups,
I was wrong.
I think
I
Ups
guess
was-
it's not my favorite Pixar short. Then I would have to say Carl's Date is my favorite Pixar short at this moment.
Fair enough.
Regardless.
Irregardless.
Oh my god.
Hey, stop being so divisive.
You guys.
Oh, why don't you go swallow a gallon of salsa?
Or just take a trip to Vegas.
Anyway, I genuinely...
Again, it's too. I am not feeling it above Up because it is too recent, and I do think Up's highs are just that good.
I think it's better than Up.
Really?
I think the first 15 minutes of Up is this entire movie.
He has a point.
I'm gonna lose that one.
I think
That's-
Elemental's more consistent throughout.
It's just so hard.
And there is a technically, I shouldn't count this as a negative towards the movie, but there's technically a twist villain in Up,
Yeah.
and it kind of ruins it further
I think
for
this
me.
is bonkers the fact that we are considering putting the
We should almost
Elemental
do.
all the way in the top 10. Like that's crazy to me.
That,
But
I don't know.
Though,
So I think okay, so say we decide it's better than Up. I think that for me, it's better than Toy Story 1. But I know that that's a for me thing. I know that that's a for me thing.
Yeah.
Because I am that hand-drawn animation going into this and being like, ugh.
I think for me, the reason why I would still put Toy Story 1 above it is I think it just comes down to that is the movie that started off Pixar.
Yeah, it's
Like,
such a
you-
big cultural thing.
you
We're comparing
have-
it to a week-old
You
movie or
can't
2-week-old movie.
not bring that into the argument. It just has to be. And I think because of that specifically, it has to
Yeah.
Yeah.
be.
And you have mentioned how you don't want it to fall too far because of how good it is and how important it is.
Yeah.
Because it is a little lower than I thought it was going to be, but it's still in the top 10.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I think we're settled here with Elemental at least being
number-
in the top
at
10.
nine.
It's going to be in the top
9.
9.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think I can win that battle with Up.
Give me some more reason though.
I don't have one.
All
You
right.
don't have
I
just
gave
a
it-
feeling.
Yeah. Well, if we want to draw comparisons, I lost a battle where I tried to say the first How to Train Your Dragon was better than the second, which I still stand by. But you both said the highs are higher. And I'm like, but it's not as consistent. And you both went, but the highs are higher. They're like, I'm outnumbered.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're kind of having the same argument here.
Reverse.
No, it's not reverse. You're saying the highs are higher.
Yeah, and I'm losing still.
Yeah.
I'm losing
Yeah,
in both
literally,
cases.
That's funny.
Is that?
Just saying, you beat me with the highs or higher thing when I'm like, I just think that
We
first was
win.
better. And at the
We
second,
beat Jared! Yeah!
All right. Well,
that's why I'm not giving you any.
That's wrong. We didn't win. Prince of Egypt is on top, but you
That
were
is
fighting.
true.
You were fighting so hard for that not to be on top.
That is true. Which that reminds me, for everybody watching this, if you have not seen it yet, please go watch a DreamWorks epic conclusion. That was also fantastic.
And if you don't want to just jump into the finale, watch the whole thing.
Yeah, that too.
Watch every video. I want you to not sleep
Before-
until you finish.
Before I start erasing, are we doing this?
To number 9.
Number 9. Here we go.
Alrighty. Now that we have finished our ranking of all 27 Pixar movies, we're going to read through them one by one from the bottom.
From the bottom.
Well, here we go. At number 27, the worst movie in their catalog by Country Mile is Cars 2.
At number 26, we have the biggest disappointment in the catalog, Brave.
At number 25, it's a good movie, The Good Dinosaur.
Number 24, we have a shopping list of plot points. Onward.
At number 23, we have the biggest nothing burger in the catalog, Lightyear.
And at number 22, Finding Nemo again? What?
Remastered.
That's right. Number 22 is Finding Dory.
Number 21, we have Cars. No joke.
Number 20, we have How Deep Do We Really Want to Go Into This Universe? Cars 3.
Speaking of trilogies, that's not a trilogy anymore.
Great.
Number 19, Toy Story 3.
Yeah. We're going to get run out of town on a rail for that.
Yeah, that's
By all 4 people who watched.
an interesting take.
Number 18, a very disappointing sequel. Well, still a decent movie in itself. Incredibles 2.
Number 17, the sophomore release is what that would be
Sophomore.
called? A Bug's Life with an
the
apostrophe.
I added it. And number 16, it likes jazz, but it's not the B movie. No, it is Soul.
Number 15, a mostly good movie. Coco. A mostly good movie.
Number 14, Inside Out.
There you go. Number 13, we're going to school, baby, because it's Monsters University.
Number 12 is Turning Red. See, that was the movie.
What was that?
Screaming.
Okay.
Sorry if I killed anyone's eardrums.
You
Go
might
watch the
have
movie,
that
and that's
one.
what you're going to get for most of it.
Number 11, a manual in scaring children, Monsters Incorporated.
At number 10, the saddest 15 minutes of your life. Yeah, it's Up.
Number 9, the most recent movie and a surprise top 10 landing, Elemental. What?
What did you just do?
I told everyone to suck it. Who doesn't like it?
At number 8, we have the one that started it all and the stiffest animation you will ever see, Toy Story 1.
And
You ever seen Hoodwinked?
Touche.
And at number 7, we have just a great movie. I got nothing else to say. It's Luca.
At number 6, we have a good fish movie, Finding Nemo.
At number 5, we have possibly the best animated love story Pixar has ever told,
Woo!
Wall-E.
And
You gotta say, Dickey, say it.
wow.
I hate how he says it, but I have to call him.
Eve.
Well,
Yeah, it is. And it's how fitting is this? At number 4 is Toy Story 4. Just makes sense.
at number 3, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made, The Incredibles.
At number 2,
Fittingly.
It's fitting.
I know Dickie said the saddest 15 minutes of your life was Up, but he's forgetting about the song, Toy Story 2.
That's a very good point. And to round it all off, we all voted, and the number 1 Pixar movie.
This one's going to burn Dickie in
It
his
hurts me a
soul.
little bit, but Jared has very good arguments, and I do agree at the end of the day. Number 1, Ratatouille.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Wow. Look, 27 movies. We did it.
We started this, when did we recorded the first episode last August, and we spread out 27 movies over, 10 months?
Yeah.
Watching them the week of, which was much smarter than what we did for
Yeah.
DreamWorks, and binge through them, and it's like, hey, we
Do
haven't
it that-
watched it in 5 months.
I think we're probably going to do it that way from now on.
Yeah, that's
I think
probably
that's-
smarter, and there are probably people watching who's like, I told you that, you idiot. Why didn't you do that? Hey, we learned from our
Hey,
mistakes.
Do we know these people that told us to do this and we didn't do that?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, this was a fun thing to do. The DreamWorks one was also fun. That one was a lot longer. It took a lot longer to do
I also
for the actual watching. I think this is about the same length as that finale. We just have a lot to say. Pixar is just ingrained into the cultural zeitgeist at this point, to the point where you have a lot of people who are obsessed with them, and I question their sanity for how much they love it.
Are those
but
technically Disney adults?
Yeah.
Diz-nerds.
I would strongly say that.
I hate
yeah.
saying it, but that's what a lot of them are called.
Diz-nerds?
Diz-nerds. I never heard that. Just Disney
These
adults.
nerds?
These nerds. These nerds. These not.
These
These
no,
nerds.
you beat me by a house.
You know an awful lot about a half second, don't you?
Not anymore.
Both y'all! Blur it out! Blur it out! Turn the video off! Flipping them off! You guys are so funny. Ha 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 ha.
Pixar. I know I had a pretty fun time revisiting. I'd seen all of them except, of course, Elemental had just come out. I had a great time. I know you had watched them all a couple years ago, right?
The Pixar? No, I only watched the ones I hadn't watched.
I thought you had seen them all going into this.
I had.
Yeah.
And he said a couple years ago he watched
A
one
couple
he
years
did.
Oh,
ago
that's
when
right,
we
yeah.
initially did this, actually this was the idea for starting our podcast. I only filled in the gaps that I had.
Yeah. Actually, Turning Red and Lightyear you hadn't seen. Those were first watches because they were coming out as we started this.
Yeah.
Or had already just come out, so you know what I mean.
Yep. And same thing with me. I never saw Luca. I never saw Good Dinosaur. And we got those all under the belt.
Yeah. Such an interesting trajectory how the first chunk of this is positive for most of us. I know Jake was older than us, but for me and you a lot. And then you get to a certain point where there's a turn.
It's a hard left turn.
And it's like, it's just that a whole decade of ups and downs.
What's sad is I feel like Luca and Elemental are kind of the turn back, and I'll include Turning Red in that because it actually was good.
But Lightyear.
Absolutely.
Hey, how many times have you heard Pixar's back? It's like they did that for Inside Out in 2015. Where'd they go?
They never went anywhere.
They
One of
were
my
there.
favorite YouTubers, I have to give him credit, John Campea, I watch his stuff a lot. He has said that Pixar may not be just one of the best animation studios. They might be one of the best studios, period. Just on a pure hits and miss basis. And honestly, they hit more the majority of the time.
I also do think they are put on a much higher pedestal than their quality actually is. I think a lot of these on rewatch are good. They don't have a million masterpieces and everything they touch is gold like a lot of people seem to think. So I think on a rewatch it's like, yeah, a lot of these are really good. I don't think they're an untouchable thing like a lot.
I mean, nothing's untouchable.
Yeah, except the Untouchables.
Touché.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Like rewatching some of these, even the earlier ones that people hold in such high regard, it's like, yeah, I don't think this is as good as a lot of people claim they are, but they're still good. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for sticking with us through hours and hours of us arguing over a bunch of kids' movies.
And that's just the finale.
Yeah.
And hey, if you want to check out more of us arguing stuff, you can watch all the videos in this series. You can watch our DreamWorks series. You can watch basically anything we do is us arguing about stuff like this.
I was going to say a particular highlight is in our DreamWorks series. There was a particular video that was just beautiful.
I know exactly the one you're talking about.
Do you know what one it was, Jared?
Is it the one? Is there a poster somewhere in here?
Yeah.
I don't see a poster.
Yeah, the point being, check out our other stuff if you like this. As with DreamWorks, every time a new movie comes out from Pixar, we will be covering it, and at the end of those episodes, we update the list. That's how it's going to work. So this is like the one thing of its kind. So up through Elemental is what this video is, and subsequent ones. I believe Elio, as of right now, is the next movie for 2024.
Yeah.
We'll have other series on the way. Won't say specifics, of course, here, but this is the end of this initial Project Dickey. If they want to find us and follow us on social media, where do they go?
Yeah, because stay tuned. We have a lot more different series. We have more stuff coming. So, yeah, constantly stay up to date. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Everything just at All of Slate Media. And if you want to watch us, make sure to turn to YouTube so you can see our awesome sets. Like, comment, subscribe, ring our bell so you get notified whenever we drop a new video. Or if you just want to listen to our wonderful sounding voices, we're on all your podcasting apps of choice. We are on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, YouTube, Google, iHeartRadio, whatever. Wherever you listen to them, we are there. And make sure to rate us because it makes us look good. And last but not least, if you're on a desktop computer or you can check out our website, allslemedia.com, and also listen or watch us through that website.
Thanks again for sticking with us through this. We'll see you in future episodes. I'm Jared, that's Jake, and way over there by the board is Dickey. In most videos, he's sitting right here next to me, so I'm dreading him coming back. But anyway, in the meantime...
He does kind of rub off on you, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm glad about the separation. There's a lot more than 6 degrees, and it's wonderful. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Spin it, let's begin it, bear and grin it. When you're in it, you can win it in a minute. When you spin it, spin it, spin it. Spin it! Oh, yeah.
Tailspin.
Oh, yo.
Tailspin.
All the trouble we get in with another tailspin. Spin it! Hi, Dickey.
Hi.
You're here.
I don't remember any of that.
So turning red.